first iteration of a tournament with all the premier NA talents. Here with me today is Strom Collin, actually one of the organizers, the main organizer behind Rogues Gallery, and we have our observer machine. How's it going, Strom?
Hey guys, I am just here because we have our second caster caught in a blizzard currently, so we're hoping that Dry will be here soon. And I'm just here to keep Shafir company for the introduction.
I get lonely.
Yeah, I try and keep off the mic as much as possible, but I'm here for a bit today, so
yeah, I'm
hope
pretty
everyone's
excited
having a
about
good
tonight.
evening.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of excited about tonight's group to actually watch the games, mostly because we're so familiar with all the players.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know Keen, Tim, and Striker, like I've watched lots of their games. I've been coached by all three of them as well. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see them play, especially because it's going to be hopefully majority PvZ group. We might have a ZVZ if Striker and Keen end up hitting each other, but because Dragon race picks instead of playing PvP, it should be mostly ZVP tonight.
Yeah, I think a Dragon doesn't play PvP, right? He plays ZVP instead of PvP.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah,
I wonder...
that race picking tradition that we have going here.
Yeah, I am excited. Well, first of all, yeah, pretty familiar with all of these players. Dragon, who is in NAS and probably one of the top 2, top 3 Protosses in NA, and we're all familiar with Tim, Striker, and Keen. Plus, PvZ is my favorite matchup to watch, so I'm kind of excited and to play actually, even though I'm not very good at it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, and especially because like the best of one is on Shakura's Temple, which I think is like. I mean, it's been around for a bit, but it hasn't been around forever. So I feel like we've seen a lot of pro games on it, but we haven't seen a lot of foreign games on it yet. And I think it's like, from my like limited game knowledge, it seems like it's, what did you say? It favors the aggressor. So it seems like you can't play like a hive style as Zerg. You kind of have to play a Hydra Lurker. And then as Protoss, it's like just because of the gigantic high ground in the middle, I feel like it'll make for some games with these players that might have a different dynamic than they would normally.
Yeah, I mean, all the Zergs that I've talked to kind of don't like the map for PvZ. And then all the Protosses that I've talked to feel the same. So I think with the expansions not being on high ground, they're on flat ground, you can't really, block on top of a ramp or really get expansions like behind a sunken wall. There's not really a lot of space to put sunkens and lurkers in those expansions. So the Zergs complain and the Protosses complain for the same reason. It's you can't really just put zealots on a ramp with cannons behind them. It's more of a flat terrain. So I guess I feel like it's like Fighting Spirit, except it promotes a lot more aggression than Fighting Spirit. The ramps are all the same. The base sizes are a little similar. I don't know if they're exactly the same, but the expansions, the way they're formatted, is definitely a much more of an active game.
Yeah, I actually when this map first came out and it got put in CPL, I played the first couple CVPs on it, and then I lost them all, and I was like, oh my goodness, how am I gonna play on this map? So I messaged Crossy and I was like, Crossy, how do you play on this map? And he was like, don't. The map is too Protoss favorite, and I was like, oh okay.
What does Crossy know? Is Crossy even good at ZVP?
Yeah. And then I asked Striker, and he's kind of said the same thing. So I'm curious to see how Keen and Stark will be playing this. I mean, that's kind of the other thing about this group that's interesting is just like the picking order, because I know if you guys caught the group selection, Dragon was like convinced that Crossy was gonna pick Keen first, but instead he got to pick Keen, which was his first choice, and then Keen picked Tim, which I think was smart, and then Tim picked Striker over Michael because I think he said he's more comfortable against Striker's style, and I think he's played with Striker a lot more, even though like going into that group selection, I think a lot of people were surprised that he didn't pick Michael in that situation. So it's kind of like interesting that happened. Oh, we have Jiraiya.
How's it going, Jiraiya? Are you can we hear you? Let's see. Oh, I don't think I hear him. Do you hear him, Strom? You might need to turn up your mic, Jiraiya.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna drop off now, guys. So good luck to the casters, and I'll be in Twitch chat.
Thanks for covering. So I actually lied to you guys earlier. It's not going to be Strom. It's going to be Jiraiya. I think he got caught in a blizzard. How are you doing, Jiraiya?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. Excited to cast PVZs. It's probably my favorite matchup to watch and play, even though it's probably like one of my worst matchups.
Excellent, excellent. Are we live?
We are live. Yes, we are 100% live on
Wow.
Twitch right now.
Right on time.
Right on time. We were just talking about Shakur's temples. So it's gonna be the first game is gonna be Dragon versus Keen. Second game is gonna be Tim versus Striker, and the first map is Shakur's temples. And then the first map of the winners and losers format, which is gonna be a best of 3, is gonna be on Eclipse with losers picking the next map, and the final decider match is first map is gonna be Polypoid. I really like the map pool for this series. And yeah, Jiraiya, have you played at all on Eclipse or?
Hello?
Hi, yes. Are you still with us? I can't really hear you.
Yeah, I sorry, Shafir. I literally just ran home. That is so exciting. I am really excited for Keen versus Dragon. This is one of the specific matchups of today's group that I was most intrigued about because I had the pleasure of practicing with Keen of recent, and he's showed some really strong games. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, I've actually been practicing with Keen as well, and he's definitely felt a lot stronger. Keen does have periods of inactivity, but when he's active, he's a very, very strong player. I think the first player I guess we're introducing here is Dragon. He's a Canadian Protoss. He's probably a top 3 Protoss in NA. He's a race picker, though. He doesn't play PvPs. I don't blame him. I hate PvPs. And I'm really excited to see how he's playing. I mean, he finished second in TDR Nassau 3. He plays in we saw him play against Boa. We saw him a lot of games recently, especially both in the qualifiers and leading up to this. So I'm really, really excited to see Dragon play.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So, am I to join the?
Your mic
How are
is
you
muffled a
observing?
little bit. You have to get on machine stream here.
Got it.
There we go.
Got it. So right now we're just doing intros.
That's right. And I think right now we are looking at Keen, I believe.
Another one.
Yeah, and so Keen, yeah. So I think I missed some of Dragon's achievements below, but I didn't read all of that. But Keen is another player. He's I guess maybe seen as an underdog here. I've been practicing with him a lot. His ZVP has looked very, very strong, and I know he's got some builds prepared and ready for this matchup. He's definitely been preparing harder than I've seen him in recent past. You said you played against him, Jiraiya, leading up to this?
Yeah, I was gonna say I had the pleasure of being drafted by Dragon in the Rogues event, Turf Wars, and I gotta say Dragon's one of those players. I don't know him very well. This was my that Turf Wars experience that Rogues Gallery put together recently was the first exposure that I had with Dragon, and I gotta say he's one of those automatics that you don't ever need to really worry about the matchup. Like it's a guaranteed win kind of thing.
All right.
So to me, Dragon is like one of those rock solid, like blue chip StarCraft stocks.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think if you were going to name StarCraft stocks in the foreign scene, especially in the NA scene, Dragon is one of the first names that come up next to Crossy and Boa. Like those, there's some blue chip players here. I think we're on to Keen. He's the member of USAB team. USAB. He has no previous Rogues Gallery event appearances, so he's sort of he's definitely not a newcomer to the scene, but he's a newcomer, I guess, to this tournament level play, and I'm really, really excited to see what he's got prepared for some of these other players, Tim, Striker, and Dragon here. Oh, back.
All right.
I think we're hopping into our first game.
I'm just getting my headphones in right now.
Sounds good. How are you doing, Jiraiya?
Can't hear me.
I thought you were doing it off my phone.
so it looks like we're going to get into our first map in about 20-30 seconds. It's going to be Dragon versus Keen on Shakura's Temple. It's going to be a PvZ, Dragon as Protoss and Keen as Zerg. I'm really excited to see this, especially with Dragon being a blue chip player and Keen having practiced against him and knowing some of what he's got prepared. I'm really excited to see him execute against Dragon, and perhaps maybe get a tip or two from Dragon on how to play PvZ on this map, because I've definitely had a lot of struggles, especially with keeping my expansions on flat map, amongst many other things, and those are probably the least of my problems in my PvZ. Do we have you back yet, Jiraiya? Let me see if I can.
I'm just having some technical difficulties again. Sorry, everyone. But can you hear me now? I'm using my computer this time.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Perfect. All right, it looks like I'm operational. I can see machine screen. So I guess, Shafir, if you don't have any other thoughts, can we get this started?
Let's do it. I think we're just waiting on Dragon to confirm that he's ready. It looks like he's selected random so far. He's got to switch over and he's got to confirm he's ready before we start this game. But I'm super excited.
Yeah, dude,
and now we're about to get into this. Yeah, let's do it. Yep.
Yeah, so Shakura's Temple. I just got pieces of what you were saying earlier, Shafir. What's your experience playing PvZs on this map?
Well, my experience is let's talk about that right after we introduce these players as we hop in. And now we have Keen as the yellow Zerg in the bottom right.
And it looks like we have our Canadian Protoss Dragon top right.
Yeah, and in terms of my experiences, I was just talking about this earlier. The expansions are all on, I guess, flat ground. So I've had struggles keeping my thirds and my fourths alive because there's not a lot of space for cannons. There's you don't really have any ramps to just throw some zealots and some cannons behind. But all the Zergs that I've talked to also don't like this map. For some of the same reasons. It feels a lot like Fighting Spirit with a lot more aggression because you don't have ramps on your expansion, so there's a lot more mobility. Plus, in front of your base, you have those sort of windy ramps. What do you think, though? You play Zerg, right?
Yeah, I'm a Zerg player, but I played Protoss against Keen just to give him some Protoss looks. So I have a little bit of both perspectives on this map. I would say as a Zerg player, the lack of the multi entrances to the third bases makes it really difficult when you start getting to that like late game fourth, fifth base, where you really start kind of thinning out your spread of defense. So like if you have a line of lurkers, it's not as linear to just unburrow them and then switch them from east to west kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So from a lot of the practice games that I played with Keen, some of the pointers that I threw for him was to not to pick his bases accordingly and efficiently, so that when you get into that sort of mid game into the late game, it's not like you're spread too far thin, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can imagine. I gotta have you write down all the things Zerg struggle with us on this map, and I have to learn them. We see Keen going for an overpull and a hatchery. We see Dragon going for a gate first build. And let's see how aggressive he goes. He's gonna go check the Zergling count that Keen is making and confirming about how aggressive he wants to get with these zealots.
Yeah, and it looks like Keen actually went ahead and drone scouted north as well, so he knows exactly what's going on here. I would imagine of the 3 eggs that are being morphed, maybe one drone. Oh, you made 6. Let's see if that last egg is a drone or not.
Yeah, something interesting is he didn't even rally his first zealot out. He sort of centered back in, so we're gonna see sort of a defensive play. But Keen, I think, made 8 Zerglings, whereas I don't. So Dragon, it looks like he's gonna make a 23 Nexus here. It's if Keen decides to get aggressive, I think he might be able to get something done. Especially, and we see the 3rd hatchery down, but it looks like Keen is just gonna be focused on getting this probe. And so, yeah, I mean, Dragon's going to feel comfortable getting his Nexus up and just expanding off of just 2-3 zealots here.
We see that. I don't know how I feel about Keen's lack of aggression going ahead with making the 8 lings kind of preemptive to knowing
made
whether
10,
or not
yeah.
Dragon was going to be aggressive. At the very least, I would hope he kills that scouter because he committed to so many lings. But Dragon's so darn good, it's not very easy to kill the scouter.
Yeah, no, Dragon, and the other thing I want to point out is that Keen actually made 10 lings and didn't go aggressive with it at all. So he's just sort of either assumed that Dragon was gonna be aggressive and Dragon wasn't. Dragon sort of just went down. I'm just gonna make my Nexus. I'm gonna put a Zealot on my ramp, make sure he can't run by. And so I think Keen's actually a little behind. We see him actually making more Zerglings, so that's gonna be a dozen lings. There might be more lings there. So I'm assuming he started his speed tech. We see him at 100 gas now. I feel like he's definitely has started this tech already. So we're gonna see if we can get anything done. This wall looks very tight because the only opening should be on that left side. I think it should be sealed on the right of the forge. The right of the forge typically isn't tight, but I believe it is in this position. But if there is a gap,
if I'm looking at that mini map correctly, Keen cut gas and is not making layer. So this is probably the move that he needs to make an upset, because right now those lings are not seen by that lead probe. This could be dangerous. There's only one cannon, no zealots.
Oh my god, this is Keen's game to take.
Keen.
Oh, he just runs right by. They're going in different positions. Keen's got to take this side. He's got to take his probes out. And we can probably just see rallied lings after this. Oh.
Okay. All right,
we see a dozen more lings at home to defend the Zealots. And let's see if but Keen lost. Keen's down to just 3 Zerglings, and 2 of them are badly damaged. So he's going to need to keep rally. He's going to need to take care of these Zealots. And then this is going to be pretty much a ling all in from here.
Yep.
And we just see more lings made. Yeah, but Keen has lost all his lings in the natural. I guess he didn't micro the probes did a ton of damage getting rid of
right. He's gonna have to follow this up right away, and it's pretty much all in at this point, because I think in his main he's only got like 5 drones mining. But he might have a timing here where he can crack down that forge and maybe find a pocket to go in and get the damage that he's seeking here. He's gonna have to go in now.
He's gotta go in now. Yeah, if Keen's gonna get this game, he needs to go in right now, and he needs to take out this forge. He's going for the Zealot instead. I don't think he's gonna be able to take these Zealots out. He's got to take this forge. Oh man, let's see Keen out. And now but Dragon's pulling all his probes. You know the game
that wall is so nice.
Here. Yeah, that wall wouldn't be great against, let's say, Hydras. I think the forge would get picked off pretty quickly, but it gets the job done here. It seals on the right, and there's a small gap. And I think Keen has 1 drone in the natural. He's got no drones in the third, and he's probably just got 5 or 6. Yeah, he's got whatever number. It's just all links from here. And I think it's going to be one final rally from Keen, and if it works, he wins, and if it doesn't, he loses.
You know what? He's got so many lings. I think he needs to just throw them at that forge. What do you think?
I 100% agree. I think he should have done that before. I think he made the wrong decision trying to engage the Zealots.
Yep.
Nail down the forge, open the floodgates, rally. You know, that was his way. And I think he just microed
I think
first.
He's got 1 more humbug, though. At this point, what does he have? That looks like around 36, 40 lings, if you count the ones that are on their way. I think he still has a small chance here.
Are 2 cannons and there are 2 Zealots.
Yeah. Yeah, I would micro like 12 lings against that forge and like use the left side to flank the 2 zealots to come in and try to defend. And then once that forge cracks, you just go. Here we go now.
This is it. Let's see if he can get this done. He's going for both the zealots and the forge, getting full
service. That's a lot of lings.
That's a lot of lings. If he can break this, I think he might have a chance.
Oh, the other one spawns to the right, which might actually be very good for Dragon. Going in for the engage. He needs to snipe the probes up front too. He can't just focus on that cannon. If he gets that second cannon...
if he just continues to rally links, he might actually still take this. Can Keen take this? I think he's got to do a lot of damage. Our probes are very strong.
This looks to be over now. There's a cannon in the main.
There's a cannon in the main.
I think he should... At this point, I would just kill the gateway. I mean, who cares about the star...
Well, the Stargate, you know, that could end the game as well, because Corsair, he doesn't have any gas.
Out.
He just has, that's true, but you don't want, yeah,
this is a tricky spot. Now, those lings are already going in. Probes are coming in as well. More are flooding in. If he can micro this and get that cannon out, this game is effectively over. That's a lot of lings coming in.
I would try to just rally down the Nexus, maybe, because, you know, like, there's only 1 cannon. You can't really get a
don't
surface
know
area on
about
these
that,
lings.
That's a lot of hit points, but that cannon goes down. This
Oh,
really
the cannon goes down.
over. There is nothing to defend this.
No way. Did Keen just pull off an upset, or did we see more lings rallied over? But we see him
my
losing
goodness.
every overlord. He's not quite supply blocked yet, but he's about to be.
I don't know if we have predictions going on in the chat, but I'm sure folks are losing money on this one if Keen can pull this off. Now, six pros mining. More lings are on the way. He is not supply blocked, which means lings will keep coming. Looks to be it. Looks like he's done it.
Well,
Oh
he
my
might have
goodness.
done it, but we gotta assume that there's gotta be zealots coming out of those gateways.
I don't know, man. I don't know. 3 probes, 4 probes.
Oh wow, GG, wow. Keen pulling off the upset.
Game.
Wow, really good job by Keen.
So I'm not gonna take any credit for that, but I did say to Keen just now that we know the result that obviously he was the dog in this matchup, but he did get me with the exact same build that he did with this game, and I was like, holy crap, that was actually pretty sneaky, and I did not expect that. So congrats to Keen for really putting together a sound strategy to combat such a formidable foe.
I do have to admit that I've been playing with Keen as well in the last week or two, and he's been practicing this build a lot. So I sort of expected the Ling all in. I wasn't sure if it would work, but
Right.
I'm excited that it did because maximum chaos.
What do you think about Dragon's passiveness with the zealots? I didn't expect him to do that. What's like the reasoning behind that, you think?
So there's two options you can take, right? I think he just expected Keen to make 6 lings. When you see the Zerg make 6 lings, you send your zealot back. You play defensive. So a lot of players will rally the zealot, and then once they confirm the 6 lings, they'll pull the zealot back. I think Dragon just went with the assumption that there was going to be 6 lings, and so you saw him playing really defensive. And I do the similar thing. You can lose a lot to like ling run bys early in the game. So he sent a zealot on the ramp. He had a zealot by the wall, and he had a 3rd zealot. So I think he just wanted to make sure he didn't lose to early lings. Just get into the mid game because he's very confident in this. So I think when you're the I guess favorite in a position like that, you just play safe. You don't want to lose to lings. Anybody can beat somebody with lings. But Keen tripled down on his strategy. The first one failed, the second one failed, but he tripled down and he still took the game. So I'm really, really excited to see how Keen continues to play in this tournament.
Yeah, you got to respect that persistence.
Yeah, got to respect the persistence. It looks like we're looking into our next game, and now going to introduce Tim. Tim is the NA Protoss Hope. He is a member of USAB. And
hold on. Is Tim like a mad scientist? What's up with the graphic here?
Well, Tim is a mad scientist. If you've ever met Tim, he is a madman. Have you actually met Tim? I know you're in the I guess tri-state area.
Yeah, Tim. My experience with Tim is he is kind of like the dragon of USA in TDR, the USAB team, which we've won and successfully have elevated ourselves to the USA A team, which we will be in the next TDR season. But Tim is, to me, one of those guys that is also just like a lock week in and week out. I think he ended up the entire season winning every match every week. So so I have high respect for Tim as well. But I didn't know he was a mad scientist, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I really like these graphics. I believe Strom and Balance did the artwork on this, and it looks fantastic. He does look like a mad scientist. I see the beaker. He's this guy's got to be one of Tim's special build orders. I don't know if you're familiar with Tim's special builds. How familiar are you with Striker?
Striker to me is one of those Zergs that I first heard about Striker through Jaeyoon. When I would tune into Jaeyoon's stream, and I remember being so intrigued at some of the practice simulations that they would do together. At the time, I think Striker was kind of up and coming, but now obviously he's way more seasoned, and at this point has kind of solidified his place in the foreign scene as a very top Zerg. I don't know Striker too well, but of all the games that we've played, it felt like I was playing like a Korean, if that makes sense. So this is the other matchup when I looked at the groups earlier that I was very excited to see as well, because Tim being the lock of the week in my TDR league, and Striker being Striker, just makes for an awesome matchup.
Yeah, no, I played Striker only a handful of times, and they were all stompings. Very very strong Zerg. I believe he follows the Korean meta, or so that might be why you feel that way. I know that
Yep.
Tim and Striker practice a lot together. I know that Tim had the I guess Tim picked Striker, right? Or is that what happened? So Tim had essentially he wanted to pick a Zerg during the group selections, and the choices were essentially between Striker and Michael. And Striker is a very standard, very strong player, whereas Michael's a very strong player but with a more unpredictable style. So Tim went for the safe. Let me just play a macro game where I can just focus on my strengths and see if I can take a game rather than playing a sneaky Zerg.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that's the right game to play, like safe versus not safe, I guess. But
Dry, are you still there?
I am. I just lost the stream. Did you?
I did as well.
Okay. Oh, I was just saying. It's interesting that he chose Striker over Michael. I mean, no offense to Michael, but I have Striker a tier and a half above.
I do as well. I think Striker is probably one of the strongest NA players right now.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see Tim just saying, I want to be able to practice just a standard game and do my best. I think he practices with Striker a lot, and I think what the ratio he told me was he takes about 30% of the games. So he's definitely the underdog here, but it's not unheard of for him to be able to win against Striker, especially since both of them have such standard styles. So
Right,
I'm kind of excited to see how this game goes.
Yeah, same here.
And we're just getting our players ready. And we're about to get into the second game of the night. Striker and Tim on Shakura's Temple.
I don't know why, but every time I hear Shakura's Temple, or however way you pronounce that, I just think of Shakira.
Can't blame you. I won a couple of games in a row on it, and I started calling it Shafira's Temple.
Yeah, right.
So we have a Striker as the blue Zerg on the top left, with the Overlord going the right way on the map.
And we have our Protoss player in Tim, top right position in red.
Excited to see how Tim opens. I know that Tim has had some hand injuries recently, so he hasn't been able to practice as much. But he's got such a solid style, so we see him sending out the first probe. I know that he likes to open a gate expand with the gate at 10, so we should see this probe go back to mine minerals, and that's exactly what we see from Tim.
And Overlord going down for Striker. We'll see if he plants the pool at 200 or if he decides to go with a more economic opening.
Yeah. And we
So
see
you
the gate
said
going down
Striker
at 10
more
for
like a
sure.
standard player?
Striker, yes. From what I've seen in the games against him, games of him and opposite of him, and he's very much a guy that likes to just play standard, 3-hatch Spire, 3-hatch Lair, 5-hatch Hydra into sort of a lurker. I've seen him skip Spire, so I don't want to say Spire. 3-hatch Lair, 5-hatch Hydra, and just a very standard like Hydra lurker. He likes his lurker contains. And he just plays within the meta, and he just plays a very, very strong style. And he's been playing a lot in the Rogues Gallery events. We've seen him play against Boa. We've seen him playing against plenty of other Protoss as well, and he's played very well every time. So he's had a very good record. I think in the qualifiers, he was undefeated throughout the entire qualifiers until he ran into Crossy in the finals of that qualifier. So he's been showing very, very strong play so far. We see the overpulled, this drone getting the bad side of that interaction there. So Tim gonna successfully delay the hatchery.
he is drone scouting, right? It looks like the drone is at the gate, so he knows exactly. Oh wait, no, he scouted the Overlord, right? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the Overlord did go the right way. We see Striker putting his second hatchery at his third because Tim had delayed so much. Let's see if Tim Tim knows this or if he's going to go play more defensive because let's see. So we see 4 lings out so far. Is that 6? I can't really
Looks like
quite tell.
6.
But Tim going for and Tim doing a similar thing. We see 6 lings. Tim not sending out that zealot, which is the right move when you do see
Yep.
6 lings. And we see, let's see if this nexus goes down at 21, 23, or even later than that. And we see it going down at 21. So he's being a little more greedy than Dragon was last game. Dragon played for a safe 3 zealots, but Tim putting down the forge. So when you go 3 zealots, you can also maybe get the assimilator early, depending on the Zerg's gas timing for the forge. But he because he went for the 21 zealot, he needs 21 nexus. He will need to put that forge down for
with
sure.
this timing, the third zealot is queued after the forge.
Exactly. So he put down the at 21. Yeah. And we saw Dragon put it down at 23, and Evie saw him put down a zealot on the ramp, mostly because he was putting his forge down a little later, so you need a place to block the link. So yeah, I mean, let's see. And I don't think Tim's put the gas down yet either. So if he's forced to put down a cannon before gas, you can in terms of Tim's gas, Tim's tech is gonna be pretty late because of, and yeah, we see his gas isn't down yet. So his tech is gonna be a little late. I don't think Striker took a particularly early gas either. So this isn't going to be a good position for Tim to be in. He's going to be a little behind.
It's worth noting that Tim has full scout. That probe is still alive. He did venture down to the third. It is being denied into the main. But to know that Striker planted the natural base, he can probably deduce that gas wasn't planted before that third hatchery at the natural was placed. So
I think the problem here though is that Tim didn't confirm that the third was down. He sees it now. This is his first time seeing the third. So from his point of view, he just saw the natural never go down. So I believe he assumed that Striker just took his gas. I don't think he ever confirmed the gas timing either.
Huh. Okay. I thought the probe had went, but
and we see a Hydra den going down. Yeah. 3-hatch Hydra play probably coming out of Striker, so maybe he's not going for his typical 3-hatch lair 5-hatch Hydra play, but rather just gonna see if he can bust him early. Right. Maybe he just sees this this forge positioning, similar positioning to what Dragon did, and sees an easy opportunity to get a lot of damage done. Yeah.
With this timing, from Tim's perspective, is he to wait for the Corsair to see if the Hydra is coming, or is that like a 5 zealot? I feel like there's some Protosses that do that. Where
I believe DeWalt just waits for 4 zealots and just tries to run it up to Zerg's base.
Right. He like plants a second cannon and then just goes, which it looks like that's what Tim's going to do as well. If he can do that, he should be able to get the intel. Oh, it looks like he's going to do it.
That's exactly what he did. Yep, he's waited for his 5th zealot and put down a second cannon. You need to put down the cannon, especially if the Zerg has speed, because you have to worry about the run by, and he's going to have to force his way up the ramp, so only way he's going to get a scout. If you're waiting for your Corsair, and looks like he's just faking it, that's going to be a wrong move for Tim, because he's got to go confirm these Hydras here. Tim just wanted to move out to force Zerglings and move back, but in reality, Striker has no intention of making more Zerglings. It's going to be all Hydras from here, and Tim's Corsair is so late because of his late gas that he's not going to be able to confirm this. And I don't think his cannon position is going to be good against these Hydras.
Right, and I think Striker even popped out a few more lings too, suggesting that this might actually be like a fully committed timing. He made more lings. He definitely made more lings.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And then now Tim is going to know what's happening here. He's putting down more cannons. He's probably pulled probes off his second gas. He's probably canceled any additional Corsairs. He hasn't pulled those off yet. You don't necessarily need to, but it definitely helps as you're sort of starved for minerals at this point in the game. But it is good that he had that second safety cannon up for the run by. He might be able to defend. The problem is that you don't get a lot of surface area for a lot of cannons to hit these Hydras at the same time. Plus, this gateway is exposed, the forge is exposed, so I don't think his +1's going to get done. So Tim in a rough position, but he looks like he's added the cannons just in time. And we see Striker transitioning, actually. You see him putting down another hatchery. We're seeing some drone production. So he got his job done. He built these Hydras. He forced out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total cannons. But Tim now putting down 4 gateways. He didn't stop mining that gas, so he's actually not in the worst position. He's got the cannons up, and now he can transition into the mid game. So I think we're gonna get a good game here.
Yeah, I'm not like the most analytical guy, but if you had to put a percentage of their current thought, like right now, what would you give each player?
Percentage of their what? Of their thought?
In terms of their edge. Like if like Striker probably has an advantage here, would it be like a 55, 60%? I'm just curious what you think.
Hard to put a number. I would probably say like near 60. He's got 2 things going for him. He has a little bit of time before Tim can push. Tim can't push until his speed is done. Really, he can't really move out with slow zealots. Tim has map control. Tim's got. I'm sorry. I'm mixing up the names. Striker has map control. And Striker is droning up right now. So he's just got a monitor, and we see another hatchery going down. So he has Tim's window to push is now, and he can't push now because this is when Striker knows that Tim's speed isn't done. So I definitely Striker has both the cadence, the map control, and he's dictating the game right now.
Right. Yeah, I love that second forge timing.
Yeah, when you're in the situation, armor is super, super helpful for zealots against hydras. Even players like models, for example, I think that he goes for +2 armor. I think even before his +2 weapons. So it's definitely been seen as more and more important to get the armor against hydras. Tim looks like he's gonna gear up for probably a 2-1 push. So we're not gonna see a push anytime soon. This DT ended up going the wrong way, but I don't think Striker caught that. But just given that Tim just built 4 High Templars. And the second forge, it looks like he's gonna wait a little bit for the push. He's gonna go for a larger 8, probably an 8-gate mid-game push on 2-1.
Yeah.
And I think that push actually on this map is particularly effective because and we see a 3rd gas from Striker as well. So he's gonna be gas heavy, likely either gonna do like a round of mutas or he's gonna go heavy lurkers. Knowing Striker's style of play, I would expect lurkers. But back to
is he not a muta guy? I remember Striker being a muta guy in his ZVPs.
I haven't really seen him go mutas often, but again, I have a limited, I guess, whatever the number the word is. But most of the time I've seen Striker opt for a Hydra into lurker sort of mid game. But maybe he is a muta guy. But we
turning around. Tim needs to pay attention.
Oh, Tim moving out without any. He just loses all of his High Templar here for nothing. So Striker doing a really good job just separating 4 Hydras and just sniping those High Templars, and now Tim is on the back foot. I don't know why he moved out quite just now yet. There was no timing there really.
I don't know what happened with the DT, but Tim must have been distracted that very second.
But just even that move out, right? You're moving out without any Dragoons, without really any cover for the High Templar. So no matter what, whether it's 4 Hydras or mutas or really anything, there was no protection for those High Templars, and it wasn't like an obscene amount of zealots either. It was about a control group of zealots.
Right. Yeah. That much more attention needed to be paid.
Yeah,
that was a pretty nice storm, killing a couple Hydras there and weakening the others. I think it would be good for Tim to keep those zealots out and keep Striker honest on the map. Because he can look for pockets of opportunities to either poke at the natural or even that 3rd base that currently is not too well defended. But it looks like Striker actually finds the army in the middle of the map, which is not what he wants to do. He'd rather have that kind of mystery on the map and keeping Striker honest so he can't just commit everything to his front to contain him. But I would say Tim probably has at least one more timing with him or for him. It's not over just yet because that 2 forge timing that Protoss has in this matchup is killer when they hit 2-1 timing. So I wouldn't count him out just yet, but he needs to keep these zealots alive to keep Striker honest. I think that's really key that he needs to do right now.
Yeah, I agree that he's not like out of it yet, but there's 2 things, right? A big part of that push, the strength of that push, is the fact that you also have like behind that massive army 7 or 8 storms. And he lost. We saw 3 or 4 High Templars just moving out there. Second thing, if you look at the supplies, Striker has already overcome Tim in supply. When you're moving out, you want like a 20-30 supply lead of the Zerg, assuming things are going well. Striker preparing for this properly, taking a late-ish fourth. So he's not even playing too greedy. So I think Striker's in a great position. Tim's going to need some really, really good storms to be able to have success with this push here.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about like where it's optimal? Like in this spot, I feel like it's so important for Protoss to poke and see where the defenses are either thin or robust. Like I feel like he can kind of poke at the natural like right now.
Yeah,
but he's kind of postulating in the middle of the map.
Yeah, I think he's postulating. He's trying to buy time. He's trying to get some cannons up at his third, I think, before he actually moves out. Because I think he's sort of realized with the high tempo losses, he's not going to be able to end the game here.
Right.
And so he's sort of just trying to be in the middle of the map, trying to kill out any stray units, that stray zerglings, etc., and get some cannons up at his third. In terms of poking, you're absolutely right, and I think this is sort of one of the reasons Zergs complain about this map. At least for ZVP, from what I hear, is that he can poke sort of anywhere. The fourth is on flat ground. The third is on flat ground. The natural is on low ground. And if you look at even the third, like the hatcheries are sort of right near the high ground for going into it. So he has a lot of options if he wants to just sit in the middle of the map and sort of poke at the third, poke at the fourth, go back to the natural, and just sort of force a Zerg out of position. And if you play PvZ ever, you realize that that's the best way to get good storms off Zerg, is when they're running lurkers over and trying to burrow. You can get a lot done just run away. And there's a lot of and so we see his third getting up. So Tim I think Tim clawing his way back into this game and then getting his third up here.
Yeah, and we missed commentating on it earlier, but that like 3 Overlord snipe put Striker. Oh, this is a nice counter. Oh, look at that value. 7 Hydras to take down the 3 cannons.
This is why I don't like this map, because this would not happen on a high ground third, right? You would have a Zealous on a ramp and those cannons behind them, so those Hydras would not have gotten this done.
Now, is that the right place to make your third? Is that the optimal place, or is there a better spot to do it? I mean, it's the closest spot, so I guess it is.
I think it's the optimal place. The only other option that's as close is the 12 o'clock, which is sort of towards Striker. You could argue that that might be better if Tim is going to focus most of his army movements around that area, but he's not.
Going on. Love it.
Oh, yeah. What does that mean for the Zerg? Does that mean he's going to try to go into high play? What is the perspective there?
That means we can make whatever we want and do a crap ton of damage. But basically, nice. When you have the economy, you have the luxury of going 3 Evo. In this spot, 4 gas Zerg taking not too much damage. Food wise, he's right there with him. Like, things are looking good for Striker right now for sure. But this engagement, we'll see if there's more
I don't think Striker expected that army to be there. He ran his lurkers right in, or maybe he's just very confident in his ability here.
But there's just so much Zerg.
There is so much Zerg. If you look at the supplies, this is not a good situation for Protoss. He looks like he's only got about 15 Hydras here and a bunch of Zerglings, but he's realizing that if he takes the Dragoons out, that's a really meaty storm. Yeah, those boys came to eat. So Tim looked like he was in a rough position. I think he still is, but that storm is giving him a sort of a fighting chance here. But if Striker can set up this contain outside of Tim's natural, Tim is going to have a rough time. The saving grace is that this map does have 3 ramps, so Tim will just take a different route. He'll take a different Uber. It'll be fine. But if Striker manages to... And so you see Striker struggling to get back into position. This is the time to storm. This is the time to get juicy storms. Yep. What are your thoughts as a Zerg in this position? Like, it looks like Striker just trying to end it here. He's being really, really aggressive with his units. And it looks like he's wiped out all of Tim's Dragoons. And Protoss can't really move out without Dragoons, I guess, until later in the game. But it's so hard to escort your High Templar around without Dragoons to sort of stave off the Hydras and the Straylings. So, and now he's also lost his High Templar. So any push from Tim is now a couple minutes away because he's got to rebuild his entire army. Meanwhile, Striker is now taking the 5th at the bottom left.
Yeah, really, really artfully done by Striker, capitalizing on the early games and compounding on his leads. Very crisp play from both players, really, but Striker definitely crisper throughout the game.
Tim does have 3-2 upgrades. He's got that going for him, but he's got to figure out a way to take a 4th. He's trying to take it in the bottom mid-right. Striker doesn't know about that quite yet, I believe. But if Tim can get that, we do still have a game here.
Yeah, I mean, we got what is that? 1,000 gas bank for Tim. I mean, I feel like we need to have gas units and use that gas. It's so important for Protoss in this matchup to make their high Templars. We get the GG.
The GG from Tim. Yeah, I think the game was just out of reach. Once the Zerg feels comfortable enough to morph eggs right in front of you in the third, it might be just a little bit out of reach. But Tim's showing really good solid play, but Striker just really confident, didn't make a single mistake. It just aside from maybe one or two storms he didn't dodge, just playing a flawless game.
I don't know if Rogues has any sponsors, but if we had like a Gillette moment, I would say the Gillette moment of the game was when Striker caught Tim off guard there when he moved out with the Zealots and was able to just so efficiently snipe, what was it, 4 High Templars in that first skirmish or big skirmish?
Yeah, no, that I think was the turning point of the game. I think that's definitely the definitive moment where you're saying, hey, Tim is behind here. How's he going to get back into this? Because you can't lose your first
It's
few
like
High
an uphill
Templar.
battle. Yeah.
Those are probably the most important units in the game for in PvZ. Is your first few High Templar. You need them to bank energy. You need them to. If you're doing a 2-1 push, you need those are the High Templars that are the backbone of your push, not the High Templars you make later. It's those first 3 High Templar. So
Right.
that was definitely, you're absolutely right. If Gillette was sponsoring this, it would be the Gillette move of the game.
I always say Gillette because I know in one of the Korean Brood War leagues, Gillette is an actual sponsor. And I was like, holy shit, Gillette made it over to Korea. I didn't even realize that because like most of Korea's products, a lot of them are like Korean. So I was surprised to see that. But yeah, that was a high intense moment for sure.
Yeah, I think so in the winners match we're gonna have Keen versus Striker, ZVZ on Eclipse, which should be the second round map. And it will be loser picks the subsequent map. So what do you feel about ZVZ on Eclipse? What are your thoughts?
I gotta say, ZVZ in general on 101 maps, it's a little boring. I mean, it's ZVZ is already a mind play, and then you're playing on a 1-player map, so it's kind of like the amount of risk, like the variance, it's quite different on a 101 map. So I always defer to 12 hatch, and if they 9 pool, I'm just gonna stuff it with drones, and if I don't, I lose. That's just the way it is. And sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them. But like last night, I was able to hold it, and that felt pretty good. So that's how I feel about ZVZ on Eclipse.
Yeah, well, it might not surprise you that I have zero opinions or thoughts about ZVZ on Eclipse or any map. Being a Protoss, I have a very smooth brain, and ZVZ just seems like a very complex ogre matchup.
I'm primarily, for those who don't know, I'm primarily a 2v2 player. But when I do play 1-on-1, I play I try to play all 3 races. Zerg is my main, but I play all 3. But either way, I feel like when you play your race as Protoss, you learn a lot about the other races too. No, like, don't you feel like you're attuned to the other races?
I do believe so, but I feel like it's more so that if you're playing against the race you're most comfortable with. I'll play TVP or ZVP for fun, and given that I play Protoss, what is that?
Like, you'll know T more than Z.
Well, yeah, I think Protoss players are definitely more comfortable because the mechanics are a little more similar between Protoss and Terran than with Zerg, especially and the economy setups. The other thing is that if I'm playing against a Protoss, for example, like I understand that matchup, a TVP and a ZVP, way more than I would other matchups, mostly because I know the Protoss times and what they're supposed to have and when and what they're trying to do. And we're just going into our first game. I've talked to Keen before this. I know he's got a build prepared for this map, so I'm kind of excited, specifically for ZVZ. So I'm excited to see him pull it out. And we have Keen as the gray Zerg on the top right of Eclipse. Or whatever. This is gray, right? Close enough.
Yeah, that can pass for gray. For some reason my screen. Okay, and we have Striker, bottom left. I guess this is teal. Zerg.
Teal Zerg, yeah. Have you ZVZ'd either of these guys?
Just real quick, I just want to take a second to say, Machine, great job with the observation. Like, we've been able to see pretty much everything. Like, I feel like it's really spot on. I can't say that for all productions, but being a caster, I can first-handedly appreciate the level of observation, like being able to see all the panels. It's been great.
Shout out to Machine, our observer. And I'm excited to see. I know what Keen wants to do. I want to see if it works out for him here on this map. Have you ZVZ'd him as practice at all, or have you just PVZ'd him?
No, just PVZ because to be honest with you, I didn't think Keen can beat Dragon. But I did say, I will continue to say, in case no one was there when I said it the first time, that all in, which he was able to do, I'm still kind of shooken up by it. It was something that I said was possible when we talked about like the 4% chance he had to win.
And here we are seeing the build that I expected Keen to do. So Keen's going to put his hatchery down here, and then he's going to use Zerglings to block his ramp so that Striker thinks he went for a pool aggression build. Meanwhile, Keen is going to flood him with lings that Striker shouldn't be able to see from the other position. So I'm really excited to see if this works. We saw Crossy pull this out against Striker on this map in these positions during the qualifiers, in the finals of the qualifiers, and he did manage to kill Striker with it, and I think Keen is trying to replicate that win. When Keen was doing the Ling all-in against Dragon, I didn't expect it to work. Even when I saw that it was sort of like, almost going to work, I was like, I don't think it's going to work. He had Cannon in the main, his Corsairs out, like Dragon just needs to survive and, make some Zealots. It worked. Keen pulled off the upset, so he's proved me wrong. How crazy would it be if Keen was the winner of this group?
I would say that if this was in Vegas and I took this because Keen's my boy, it'd be like GME. I'd be hitting the moon.
It'd be like buying Bitcoin in 2010. It'd be like buying Doge 2 weeks ago.
55K? Like, wow.
And yeah, we see Striker going for, I believe it was an overpool gas, and then he's going for a hatchery after. Maybe he's learned from the Crossy game. We see these two lings going out. Possibly, let's see if he's going to go look for, if he's going to suspect that this is coming. We see a creep colony in the main. Is that turning into a sunken? Yes, it is. So I think he's worried that in case he can't hold his ramp and he cancels the sunken, in case he can't hold his ramp, he needs a way to survive while he does a ling all in. So he's already sort of guesstimating the base trade situation here.
That's a ling going to 12 o'clock, I believe.
Yep. Striker must have been expecting this because he did lose this exact build on this exact map, and he confirms the base there. So I don't know. That's bad news for Keen now that Striker has confirmed that that's where the base is. And we see the lair starting for Striker. I don't think Keen is anywhere near starting a lair here. I think he went for gas first, or he's going to go for gas first if he hasn't started already. He's only got 2 drones on gas, I believe, so a lair is not coming. It's just not coming. So
we have to go 3 hatch here. We can't try to catch up playing lair. We have to make 3 hatch.
I think at this point it's an all in for Keen because he's already pulled the drones off gas, so there's gonna be no lair coming. There's gonna be no Spire coming. He's got to break him here, or it's the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean he banked 100. I don't know what that 100 gas is for, but it could just be a bluff when the OV was there.
That must have been it. I don't think he expected to get his 12 o'clock scouted. And I guess when the Overlord comes in, you show the lair. But clever build from Keen, but Striker learning from his mistakes.
We are going 3 hatch. I like
that. What does that mean from a ZVZ perspective? Like, is Keen going to try to transition?
That means we're going to get to the mid game, but we need to be careful of counter wing shenanigans as well. Like in this spot, Striker, bless you, Striker does have a lot of lings like on the map right now, which could inflict damage. But if Keen can time this in the mini map here, he's gonna fight. Oh, come on, get up. If Keen can somehow manage to hold this without losing more than 2 drones, I would say this is a good spot.
How's it a good spot though? Because Striker's already started his Spire. Keen doesn't even have a lair. How is he gonna survive the mutas?
Does he not have Evo up?
Does he? I didn't see an Evo. Is there an Evo in Keen's base? There's no Evo here. I don't see how he's gonna survive these mutas that are. His Spire is already like halfway done for Striker. Yeah, it's 2/3 of the way done.
I like that Striker's going out here. Maybe if Keen cleans this up, Yeah, I guess the link.
Seems like a very rough position unless Keen starts his Evo Chamber now. I don't see how he survives a single muta here.
Yeah, I'm just realizing now that we did get more gas, which could have been minerals. Yeah, this is looking real grim for Keen. I don't. Yeah.
Keen GG's. Yeah, I think he had that build. I think that build could have probably worked, but Striker lost to this exact positioning, so he's learned. He sent those two lings out and looked for the extra hatchery, and he found them. So Striker doing a really, really good job here, learning from the mistakes and just playing a pretty flawless ZVZ. And if that game went any further, I think Mia would have just ended the game because there was no Evo Chamber, there was no Lair, much less Aspire. It was just lings. So yeah, really.
Striker is just like dominant. He is. He doesn't make mistakes. I can't think of a single mistake that he's made in either of the games.
And it's losers picks next match, and Keen has picked Optimizer, which is sort of an interesting map for a ZVZ, right? It's a pretty big map.
Yep.
Have you played any ZVZs on this? Why would someone pick Optimizer? Would that be
on Optimizer? It's a big map, which does open up the variance, meaning you can play cheesier builds without getting caught as quickly than a one-on-one map. So therefore, what happens a lot when I ladder on this map, people go 9-hatch. They sort of camp their lings at their ramp and just keep making lings, and until they hit speed, they hit the A, 1A, 2A, 3A. And that timing is good if you don't scout it. So on this map, I would say cheese is more possible, and but you at the same time, like, you can go 12-hatch too because you have it behind, and get lucky that way to get an economic advantage.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what. I wonder if, because I know Keen's been preparing for this. I wonder if he's got a build prepared for Optimizer if he were to lose. And Optimizer does have those two gases, so maybe there's some clever play that he can pull out here. And it's a big map, so maybe we'll see a longer ZVZ here.
Yeah, it's quite possible. But I would like Keen's chances more if he can get away with a build like he did the first time. Like, I feel like Crossy was able to execute that, with surprise. But to your point, he was prepared to see it, and all it costs is sending one ling north to, basically understand what they're doing. So Keen's gonna have to come up with something, I think, in the short term to win this with a higher chance of success, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I hope Keen's got something clever for this. I'm excited to see what he has, given how he's prepared. Maybe we'll see a Hydra build. Who knows? Maybe he'll pull a...
Oh my God. You remind me of Abby Love. I think he does that a lot.
Hydras in a ZVZ? How does that go?
Yeah, like 2 hour ZVZ. We're talking about queens, right? Queens parasiting Ultralisks. Think about that.
Queens
Think about that.
parasiting Ultralisks.
Yes.
Huh.
That's how fun ZVZ could be, but I don't know if Keen has had too many of those types of games under his belt. But I'm excited to see what he has.
Yeah, same. Maybe he's I'm hoping he goes Hydras. I'm hoping he goes into a Hydra Lurker. It doesn't matter. I just want to see some creative play. I was just watching a BlizzCon before this, and we were seeing like SC2 players going against Brood War players, and they were all just doing wonky stuff, and it was super exciting. But yeah. It looks like we're having some technical issues getting between getting into the games, but we should go into this game pretty shortly, and it is going to be Optimizer. So do you ever take that second gas in Optimizer, or is that just because I know, for example, like it was designed to sort of help, I guess, in PvZ if you get contained, you end up getting access to a third base as well as a second gas in your main, but I don't know many people that actually take it. So
what do you mean? Like when you're in the spot of taking a third gas, you take it. The question is, do you take it before your natural? If you're taking your what do you mean?
Oh no, I meant like in PvZ, right? If you are, let's say,
PvZ.
contained in PvZ, yeah. If you're contained, like let's say with the Hydras or whatever, you're in a position where you can't really move out. You have to wait for 2-1. it gives you the option of getting your third gas on 2 bases because gas is so expensive in PvZ.
Right.
But I feel like when I watch pro players play on it, they don't actually do it. They don't actually add that second gas unless I've seen it maybe once, and I've seen plenty of games on Optimizer. So it feels like something added to help that situation, but that hasn't actually been used. So I was wondering, like in a ZVZ, do you think it's used more often? Like, have you seen it actually used, or?
I haven't, honestly, to be frank, I haven't seen too many ZVZs on this map. My personal experience on the map has been cheesy of late, meaning I'm going something cheesy or I'm up against something cheesy. So no, I haven't seen 3 gas taking that second gas as well, to be honest.
Yeah, so let's see if Keen has. I hope he does though, honestly, and I think he might. But yeah, we're just waiting to get into this game here. But yeah, listen, I'm rooting for Keen because he is the underdog here. Striker is probably a top 2, top 3 NA Zerg. Keen is a very, very strong Zerg, one of the top NA Zergs, but I wouldn't say he's top 2, top 3, right? And nobody expected. I didn't expect him to be Dragon. I'm sure you didn't either. He was the underdog, so I'm rooting for him, and I love Keen, man. So I'm excited. I'm hoping he can pull this through. And I think we're both in the game, so we're about to get started very, very shortly.
A blind squirrel can find a nut twice in one night. Let's do it.
Is that right? Is that what the old saying is?
No, honestly, I'm like still in shock that it worked against Dragon. Like, insane.
Yeah, I mean, he practiced a lot against me in PvZ, and only worked half the time. So
this game is the purest game. StarCraft Brood.
I completely agree.
Things like that happen.
And we start with Keen, DM Keen, as the whitish, pinkish Zerg on the bottom left of Optimizer.
Whitish, pinkish.
What is that color? What would you call it?
I would say blue, because like the pink, all the Zergs are like a little pink.
Well, Striker is blue. I'm talking about Keen. Keen's not blue. This is blue to you, man?
No, I would just say he's white. You know what I mean?
Okay. Oh, I thought you just said blue. Anyway, we have Striker as a blue Zerg on the bottom right.
Let's see who makes the OP.
Yeah, I mean, we already see Keen getting a slight advantage given that he's sent his overlord the right direction, and Striker is sending it vertically. So that'll be a good news for Keen here.
And Keen, my man Keen, scored in the 488 PM.
That's a man.
Over gas.
We don't call him Speedster for nothing. He's got both hands and both feet on his keyboard right now. Do we see an overgas? Oh, did Striker take his gas? What am I hearing?
We see here. Oh, he canceled.
We see Keen going for a 9 pool. Yeah, he's canceled the gas so he can sneak out the extra drone. And so it's 10 hatch. Oh, that's gonna be a hatch in main. What is that? What is that positioning for? Why does he have his hatchery there?
Okay, hold on. I'm getting the shivers now. So we got to over gas from Striker, right? So this is a kind of like an early gas advantage build, right? And Keen, right, is going 10 hatch, and made the hatchery right of his base, right? And Striker's second OB is not heading in that direction. So we can have a timing here because Striker is going to make drones. Keen, this build basically says, I'm going to make wings and I'm going to kill you. Like, that's what this build is. So everything is lining up for Keen to make something special here. More drones coming out from Striker. I'm kind of getting the feels right now of magic potentially happening.
Dude, yeah, I see what you're saying here. My little brain is figuring out the words you're saying. So what I'm hearing is Keen is going to go for a hyper all-in here, and Striker is going for drones. He's going to try to get a fast lair, which is what the early gas is for. So Keen has a very, very good opportunity here. He's got a build order advantage. We see this lair coming up before the speed. Meanwhile, I think we can be assured that speed is coming. So they might end up having speed at the same time, given that Striker took the earlier gas. And by the time I guess Keen would get to his base, but Keen's gonna have way more links. Keen also moving that overlord back as soon as he sees the creep, confirming Striker's position, but not trying to give himself away. Striker said, "You're absolutely right." He sent the second overlord down to the middle instead of to the left, so he's gonna have no idea where Keen is or what Keen is doing. Plus, this is a flat map, which maybe is why he picked Optimizer, because you can't just hold at the ramp because this is a flat map and you can just get overpowered. I mean, you can still create the arc with the Zerglings as you'll expect Striker will do, but he's got a great opportunity here.
Yeah, absolutely. If you put yourself in Striker's shoes right now, he just spotted that many lings. That's a lot of lings, right? But at the same time, that could also be 12 pool layer. No, over pool layer.
Could be over pool layer. It could be a similar thing to what Keen did last game. There could be a hatchery, somewhere else. And and just blocking the choke, because that's what Keen did on Eclipse. You see a Striker at 300. He's going to put a hatchery down.
He's making a hatchery. This is super duper greedy.
The only thing worse would be a hatchery at the natural, right?
Okay, so just going back to percentages, it has now tilted significantly because of this right now. Right this second, I would say Keen has a 65% edge to be able to make this happen. And that's
just 65.
Well, that's low because Striker's just that good. But we'll see what happens.
There's a Striker curve. There's a Striker curve here.
Dude, this is a good spot. Look at Striker. He made a Spire, then a hatchery.
What are Striker's options for surviving here? Does he need to throw down like a sunken colony?
And he's got a drone drill. That's the only way, and it needs to be the best drone drills of his life. This is a lot of lings coming from Keen. I am loving this spot. I am ready to just go out and party for a game.
Dude, I'm already drinking, but if Keen wins this, I'm gonna drink the rest of this cup and pour myself a new one. And so I'm so excited. Let's do this, Keen. No caster bias here, but I want I want a game 3. I want maximum chaos. And
absolutely, I can't leave my seat. I want a beer, but I need to watch this. Oh my goodness. Colonies are coming down. Sunken's already 60%. He cancels the second hatch. What a play from Striker. That's a lot of lings. I think Keen's going to do it. This is too many lings for Striker to handle. I think he's going to do it. He's going to be able to do it.
He's got to drill these drones.
Lings. Oh, that's too many lings.
He's got the first Sunken. He's going to take that down. Oh, that's a lot of lings.
That is a lot of lings.
He creates the Evo chamber to make sure the lings can't surround. He's got a Muta out.
He needs to get all the drones. He needs to get that Sunken as well. This is an all-in play.
The truck outside my house is even honking about this play. This is nuts. And Keen killing all the drones. There's only 3, 4, 5 drones left. Striker frantically throwing down the Evo chamber, because if he can take these drones out, the only way he loses if these mutas gets his main. Taking out the Spire.
Drones going down.
Oh, Keen, I think he's done it. Wow. No more drones. All Striker's got to his name is 4 mutas. And all Keen needs to do is get the spore. Start the spore, Keen. There we go, and the score starts. So he just needs to stay alive, and the spore, oh my god. I think he's done it, man. And Striker has 7 minerals to his name. I think he's probably got 1 drone making. That's going to be his last drone, and I think that's game.
I'm speechless.
The Muta's doing what they can, getting the bottom, because the spore doesn't reach the bottom of that mineral patch. But you can just throw down another spore, man. You can afford it. The guy has 1 drone, and Keen just we see why I picked Optimizer. Just throwing a flawless game here. Really, really excited. I think this is a game, and Striker just playing this out. I think he's in a little bit of a shock here. I don't think he expected a dragon. He probably prepared a lot of ZVPs leading up to this. I don't think he expected a ZVZ coming right after the first game, and Striker GG's. Keen, man. Keen pulling it through.
I don't know what to say. I honestly, I'm just speechless. I'm still kind of processing, so Shafir, just keep talking.
All right, man. You grab your beer. And we're going to go into game 3. I'm excited to see what Striker picks as his map. He's probably going to pick the most standard, boring map. If he could pick Fighting Spirit, he would. It's not in the pool. But Keen, 2 upsets already so far. First beating Dragon, and now beating Striker. And I'm not lying when I say Keen has been preparing a ton. He normally just likes to play. He's a C rank UMS player, I think we call him that. But he's been putting down the run toddy and playing a lot of ZVPs and some ZVZs and just preparing for this. And the next map is going to be Sylphid, which is going to be Striker's choice. So this will be game 3 of the winners match. And if Keen come out as the winner in this group, like I'm telling you, a lot of people's fantasy brackets that they created and channel points, there's going to be a lot of chaos happening here.
That's right. I think Keen on this map, I would say it's almost like a coin flip.
Yeah, I mean this is another flat map. This now is Striker's pick because it's a loser's map, loser's choice. So Striker just picking the most standard map he can possibly think of. So if it is a flat map, but he's just doing what he's got to do, and we see Keen as the black Zerg at the 12 o'clock position.
And we
And
have Striker, the white Zerg, in the what is that, 8:30, 9 o'clock position.
correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't the 12 o'clock position a little better? Just a like inherent advantage because of mineral boosting on this map. And we see a Keen just going for a 5 pool. Keen is going for a 5 pool. He's mineral boosting. He's getting these drones, so it's going to be an extra fast 5 pool. What do you think here?
I think first of all, I don't know anything about mineral boosters, but 5 pool, I love it. He's all in, obviously, and I think if he can pull this off, I'm never gonna stop hearing about it. So
If he can pull this off, Tai2 step aside, Michael step aside. We have our new creative with double quotes Zerg on the
strength barometer. If there was an index, right, like a strength index, this would be one of those runs. If anyone here knows Eli Manning, he would.
Bro, I'm a Giants fan. You're talking to the biggest Eli Manning. You have to talk to the biggest Eli Manning fan. I'm gonna cut you short really quickly. There is so Striker's going overgas. How does that fare against 5 pool?
Overgas is good for 5 pool, meaning overgas is gas advantage against traditional overpool, 12 pool, 9 pool. It's gonna have more gas. So when you go all in Lings and your opponent is going gas heavy, good spot. I like Keen in this spot. Overlords is gonna see that drone now.
The drone scout gives it away, doesn't it?
It does kind of make Striker scratch his head. Now he made another drone, which is gonna be standard. Let's see if he makes another drone again. If he makes another drone, I would say Keen has, if I put a number to it, 68%. But he's not gonna make that drone, so let's see how he micros. Is that a? Oh my goodness!
An offensive creep.
Offensive creep. Sunken.
Sunken. Yeah, it's not gonna be a sport. Yeah, offensive sunken is probably gonna go right behind there. Oh my god. Striker trying to block the creation of it.
Oh my goodness.
This is insane. He's still gunning for the lair. I don't think he knows the 5 pool yet.
Oh,
now he knows. Now he's canceled the lair. His Lings are still not out.
Planting that creep is critical. Now he needs to have a very good drone drill. He wasted a lot of drones. Yeah, this micro is critical here. Nice surround. What a surround!
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Really good job with the drones too, but Keen now killed all
right away, Shafir.
Wow, Keen's been practicing. I think.
Focused. Oh no, that micro.
Oh.
He's gonna hold. He gets the sunken.
Oh my god. GG from Keen.
Just like that, it's over.
Oh man.
Of millions of people just. Oh my goodness.
I was already looking at my glass, excited to chug this down and pour another one in celebration of Keen. But Striker comes out. I guess if you asked somebody before the series who would be the winner, I'd be like, okay, it's Dragon or Striker. But Striker comes out, it's no surprise, but he barely ekes one out over Keen. Keen prepared some really good builds this series.
Yeah, a lot of thought into it. You got to give respect to Keen. He showed up today. He was focused. He played. I gotta say, he was able to show, even though it was more luck than anything. But Striker, who's basically been invincible all night, was able to fall. But and Keen, was able to put a chink in that armor. So I think Keen deserves a lot of respect and certainly raised his bar in my book.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were speculating that Keen would be the first player picked in the qualifier rounds. Meanwhile, Striker is the guy who essentially went undefeated up until he ran into Crossy, right? Who is Crossy. So, yeah, I think a lot of kudos to Keen, really just getting his name up. And he's going to be waiting for whoever is the winner of this series. So we're going to the losers match here. I think Tim expected a PVZ. It had to be a PVZ, Striker or Keen. I mean, a Dragon or Keen. I don't think he expected it to be a Dragon. And so this is a loser's match. Loser gets eliminated, and the winner gets the privilege to play Keen for the second player that moves out of this group.
Got it. Yeah, this is gonna be another great matchup. Like honestly, what a pleasure, right? Like these games are these matchups like so far have been like sometimes like when some of the Terran players get in there, it could be a snooze fest, but the Zergs and the Protosses came to play today.
Yeah, the other thing is the first map is going to be Eclipse on for the winners match, and I love PvZs on Eclipse. It's one of my because especially when you have the two routes, there's a lot of potential for backstabs, a lot of activity on the map, and you don't really get that Zerg style where they take a natural and they make 15 sunken spores and lurkers and try to take a quick fourth gas and go into hive, which is an effective way to play but really boring to watch. Eclipse doesn't really cater to that style. You can't really do that, so really excited to see this PvZ on this map. My favorite matchup on what is probably my favorite map right now in terms of fun to play. And and two of my favorite players. This is gonna be a PvZ, so Dragon is a race picker. So Dragon doesn't play PvPs.
Oh, right. And his ZVP is dope too.
It's Dragon, man. Everything he does is dope. So it's I think Tim would be the underdog going into this. So
yeah, right.
I mean, for sure, but this is Eclipse. It's a two-player map, so the advantage of this in PvZ is that your first probe knows where the base is, and you can respond correctly. You don't have a situation where you're gonna get a last scout and you have to play defensive. You don't have as much uncertainty on Eclipse, which is nice. It caters to more solid play styles because there's less sneaky stuff you can really get away with. So I'm excited to see this game here.
Yeah, man, me too. I feel like recently I saw Dragon play ZVP against, I believe, Boa, and it was very competitive. There was a spot where it was like back and forth. Like Dragon had an edge, and then Boa had an edge. So I think Dragon is going to be able to bring it as he always does. And props to Genji for producing that image of Dragon, like a physical dragon. I think that art was dope and is a super good way to demonstrate. I mean, showcase. Him waiting for Dragon here.
Yeah, we're just waiting for Dragon to join the lobby here. But yeah, I'm just yeah, props, and there's plenty of artwork. The artwork in this series that I've seen is absolutely fantastic, and the sort of, I guess, Western like sort of standoff. I just love the theme. It's right down my alley, and it just looks really sick. Tim the mad scientist, during the Prohibition era, with a beaker, trying to probably make some alcohol in his basement. I think he's Irish, so And yeah, we're just waiting for Dragon to join this. Dragon probably had not anticipated that he would be in the losers match today, but Keen, don't underestimate Keen, man. He will just not. He'll just come and ruin your fucking day. You think you're getting that promotion? Keen will show up at your job and take it. Like, he's the guy, man. He's gonna eat your food. You made a sandwich, he's gonna grab it. He's Keen. Don't ever underestimate Keen.
Ironic, because Keen's like the nicest guy ever, but he could have his moments of spiciness too. So I guess he sure came to bring that spiciness tonight.
Nice guy. The Keen I know is all spice, man. He's just full of spice. And tonight I think he told me he's gonna have a little bit of wine. I think he's taking after models, the performance enhancing wine. And I think he did have some of that performance enhancing wine, man.
Yes, absolutely.
It's full of steroids and Adderall, and it's just Keen is just chugging it down. He's gonna be swole and he's gonna be smart by the end of the series. Yeah, we're still waiting to get into this game. We see Tim playing on his BSL tag. BSL Tim, Bustle Tim.
Oh, Shafir, how you doing in BSL?
So before the ladder reset, I already played my games. I'm gonna be playing in Chobo League, so it doesn't even matter. I seem to play my minimum games. So once I got those in, I'm just waiting. Let's see what happens. I'm trying to just play well in Chobo League, see if I can get some stuff done. What about you? How are you doing?
Yeah, I was telling the boys. I got my third placement match against like a 2150 something player, and I was able to take him out. So two more, and I might have I might have a sexy placement. So looking forward to that. And then if I can grind it out, I know it expires tomorrow. Is that right?
I'm not sure, but I think that might be right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be able to make some magic happen to qualify for anything. But if I were to reach, probably Gosu League. But we'll see if we can get that many
I
games
hope you
in.
do, so I don't end up running into you in Chobo League, man. I don't need that kind of stress in my life. Last time I ran into you, I think you 2-0'd me. I think it was in the qualifiers for one of the Rugs Gallery events.
Yeah.
I think it was a qualifier for this tournament. So yeah, man, if you can avoid me, that would be nice. I already have Crane and a couple of other guys to worry about. So I think
I'm actually happy for Keen to be top 15. I kind of give him some ish about it. Oh, it looks like they're going to start.
I'm excited. Finally, yeah, we're getting into this game.
But for him to be able to get that win, or those wins rather, definitely he's better than me. I can say he's better than me. He's top 15 NA. You got it, bud.
Yeah, oh no, for sure. And I think if there is any underestimating of Keen, is there anything? If there's anything he can do, he can prepare a build and he can figure out how to kill you. So we see Dragon as the race picking yellow Zerg on the top right of Eclipse.
And we got Tim, Protoss, red, bottom left corner.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple ways to sort of wall on Eclipse on the bottom left position. I mean, there's a couple on the top right, but they're both similar. But on the bottom left, you can either opt for the gateway on the right and the forge on the left with sort of a gap in the middle, or you can opt for a pylon on the right and have a one zealot gap. I think Tim prefers one zealot gaps from what I've seen, unless he's shifted in behavior, and we'll see where the first pylon is. And it looks like he's going to do the gateway on the right, forge on the left, gap in the middle. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. But the one zealot gap is a little safer, but I think the the middle gap lets a little more better unit flow. You get dragoons through. You don't need to kill any buildings. So yeah, interested just to see if he goes for safer or for better offensive movement.
Yeah, Shafir, you know what I'm really happy about?
What's that?
That you are so analytical, meaning you know the analytical part of like a cast, like a dynamic, because I can't bring any of that stuff to the table. But like, it's interesting that you can already tell from just a pylon placement what kind of wall it's going to be. Like that's very intriguing because not all I imagine not all Protoss players envision, it that clearly.
Well, if you get killed by Zerglings as often as I do, you care very much about the wall.
Touche. Good point.
We see a dragon going for the hatch first here. Hatch first is a little risky on Eclipse because if the Protoss were to go for a forge expand, you'll get cannon rushed every time, right? But against a gate expand, the hatch first actually leaves you with a little bit of an advantage, although it gives a little bit of a timing for the Protoss to have a zealot in your base without any lings out. So let's see if Tim can take advantage of this opportunity. He does go for a 10 gate, which means his zealots are a little bit later. And knowing how Tim plays this, he plays his gate expand with the intention of just getting his nexus up safe while forcing a few lings. So he's on the less aggressive. If there's a spectrum of gate expand aggression, Tim's on the far left of less aggressive, but he does move his zealot out against hatchery first, which is the right move here. So let's see if you can get a drone. I think you need to kill at least one drone to come out even here.
Only one drone, huh?
To come out even, I think if you get more, I think you have an advantage, but for sure. And we see Tim anticipating the hatchery at the 12 o'clock. I've seen other players such as Oya on Eclipse. What they'll do is they'll rally after they make the gateway. They'll send their probe straight to 12 o'clock and make their second pylon there. And we don't see Tim doing that here, but definitely pretty effective and throws Zerg off their timing. The third hatch, if they don't expect it, the third hatch goes up a lot later. Let's see if Tim can take advantage of this little window. He's a couple of seconds between where this zealot exists and the lings don't, where he can try to take a drone out or two.
Ooh, nice micro.
Oh, almost gets one. Yeah, he needs to get that probe and Striker getting the surround on the zealot. So I don't know if he's going to get one. You really need to keep that probe with the zealot.
Yeah. Really nice micro from Dragon. Really nice. Ooh,
but
gets the probe.
So Tim actually being a little more aggressive. Not every player will send out the second zealot. Sometimes the move, what I do against hatch first, I'll only make one zealot.
They're real low, Shafir.
Yeah, man, I think they're both going to go down, and Tim's going to be in a tough position here. He's going to have to make more zealots because he's going to. Oh no, these zealots are done. But his forge should be started. So it looks like what he did was he made a second zealot right after the Nexus, or even before the Nexus probably, but before the forge, and that puts him in a rough position because your cannon's gonna come up late. So these lings will have free will to sort of wail on this wall, see if they can take down this gateway. And he only has one zealot, so it's gonna be risky. He's got to block off the choke with probes if he's gonna try to be aggressive with zealots or try to take them off this wall. So let's see if Dragon can take this wall down. I'm sure he's gonna see this opportunity here and try to capitalize.
So late. The cannon is so late. It's absurdly late.
Yeah, that's a miscalculation by Tim here because he made the second zealot and a third zealot before that. Yeah,
he meant to plant it, but the probe went back because he was short and he made a probe. He thought he planted the cannon. I believe I saw that on the right.
That might be it. Yeah.
Oh, that's a blunder.
I think just making even that second zealot before the forge was a blunder by Tim here because he didn't get anything done and he didn't get anything done with the first zealot. He didn't get a single drone, and now he's got lings in his main. Like this is the worst possible situation, especially against Hatch first, where the Zerg has an unlimited amount of larvae essentially. Like
drone is behind us. Look at those drones going to the third.
Three probes. Like you can't lose this many probes this early. And
this is Jadong. Like
this is without speed, so even better than literally better than Jadong.
Like, what's going on here?
And GG, Tim. Yet, lesson at home, man. If you see a hatch first, you gotta make your nexus in the forge right away because it's critical that you get that cannon up as soon as possible. Zerg has way too many larvae to play with. If they get aggressive, you don't want to be caught with your pants down like Tim just got caught here.
Noted. I'm gonna have to remember that.
Yeah, I mean, what I do, you just go one zealot, nexus, forge, one more probe, then another zealot, and a cannon as soon as possible. You need to get that cannon up ASAP. So, second map will be Tim loser picks. It will be Polypoid from Tim. So Tim looking for a bigger map, and a more standard game. And I think Tim is very, very comfortable on Polypoid. I think it's a map that he plays very, very often.
Oh yeah.
So it's essentially the new fighting spirit.
Feel comfortable on Poly, or is that just me?
I'm comfortable on it in PvT and PvP. PvZ, the problem with Polypoid is the rushes are so long that I like to go gate expand. I like to be very aggressive with my gate expands usually.
Right.
And the rush distances are so long that my zealots never. And aside from my lack of skill, the zealots don't get much done. So I'm not a huge fan. And the other thing is that the walls aren't as cozy as like let's say on Eclipse. You need to essentially have it's essentially they're like a little bit like Sylphid walls where you need to have 3 units to have any seal on any position essentially. Unless you're on like the bottom right and the top left, but like half the position need three units, and so I'm not a fan. I like cozy walls like on Eclipse. So, but that's just me and the way I play because if you're aggressive with zealots, you need to be able to block your chokes really quickly.
Right. Just shout out to Machine. He kicked my ass in ladder like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and I think Machine won Chobo League last year, right? I believe. If I'm wrong, I'm sure you can tell me, Machine.
He can win Gosu League.
Yeah, so hopefully you're not in Chobo League this year so that I have a shot, but let's see, man.
Yeah, you're already in it.
Yeah, you guys can't hear Machine. We were having a little chat about his BSL qualifications. I just want him not in Chobo League, man, because the less good players that are in Chobo League, the better. I think they should expand Gosu League so that I can just win Chobo League. You know, I think Crane should go up to Gosu League as well. I mean, I think he should just make Gosu League around 96.
Yep, Crane's a good player.
And we're just about to step into game 2. And remember, the loser gets eliminated from this whole tournament. We're never going to see him again. Strom's going to take him into the barn. He's going to shoot one of these guys, and we got to figure out who it is. Yeah, and we see Dragon is the orange Zerg in the bottom right of Polypoid.
And we got Tim, Big Timbo, Protoss red, top left corner.
Timothy, aka Tom.
What's that?
AKA Tom. I like being cross position PvZ because the Zerg doesn't know what you're doing. You can get away with a 21 Nexus against Overlord here. Just 2 zealots, mostly because of the crazy rush distance on Polypoid. You'll get your forage up and your gas up in time. You can even go gas before forage. You can be pretty greedy, as well as the fact that you can sort of scout for the Overlord. So I think this is an ideal position for Tim. He picked a big map and got the biggest distance he can look for.
Yeah. How's the wall situations?
This is good here. So you can make the gateway on the right, forge on the left. You have a 2 zealot gap in the middle that dragoons can fit through. So you don't have the shenanigans where you need to throw in a probe or another. Because early game you don't have as many zealots you need as to work with. So you have to throw probes in there. So and probes are fickle and flimsy. So this is ideal I think for Tim. Not only being cross positioned but being cross positioned at this diagonal instead of top right and bottom left. I think this is better for him. Because the top left and bottom right are the top left has the good positioning for him. Yep, and we see the gateway a little far out though. This gateway is poking it. I think it should be in a little more.
It's a hair.
It's like a protruding.
Yeah, it's asking to get sniped by Hydras.
Anything could snipe that gateway, man. Like a Zerg player from a different game can probably get that one. But yeah, he's scouting for the Overlord. Typically, the Overlord has scouting patterns on this map, unless Zergs try to throw you off. I know players like Hawk like to scout the opposite way for this specific reason. But Tim is gonna.
We went 11 hatch. That means the pool is slightly quicker than 12 hatch, and it's already cross map position. So the Zealot is going to be maximum distance against the enemy Zerg. So I think 11 hatch is actually a pretty good opening here. He probably could have gotten away with the 12 hatch, but 11 hatch means that the Lings will come out before the Zealots hit the drones in the main.
Yeah, 11 hatch really got popularized as Gate Expand became more popular in the meta because you get your hatchery and you still get your Lings out in time for the Zealot, so it's a win-win. So yeah, definitely he's just playing against the build, and he did get the build right. Tim did go for the gateway first with the most forward gateway that I've ever seen. He might as well just put it in the middle of the map. But yeah, I mean, Tim is going to confirm that it is an 11 hatch cross position. He's going to send the first zealot, and he's going to make the nexus after one zealot. I really hope he doesn't repeat the same mistake. This is cross position, so he's not on Polypoid, so he's not in the same risk as he was on Eclipse. But he needs to make sure he gets his forge down on time. Is he going to get it? He just gets a drone. That's fantastic. So that's just an ego hit for someone like Dragon, right? You never want, as a player, as a man, you never want to lose a worker to another worker. That can tilt someone. I don't know if Dragon tilts, but if there's a way to do it, this is how to do it.
Well, the 11 hatch timing with the pool, it's gonna have the Lings, but I don't know if he sees his Zealot.
Yeah, he absolutely must see this Zealot, but it doesn't look like. It looks like what is he doing with the Zerglings? Yeah, his Zerglings were rallied in a different position. He's gonna get the drone. And that's gonna be his. Did he get the drone? The Zealot has 2 kills. I actually didn't catch what it killed.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah.
I think he must have killed the drone. Yeah. And so 2 drones, one to a probe, one to a Zealot.
How many Lings are there? If it's an odd number, no, he killed 1 Ling.
1 Ling and 1 drone.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 3 drones. Machine telling us that we need to observe better. It was 3 drones, 1 by the probe, 2 by the Zealot. So Tim has that in a fantastic position, cross position, getting his nexus up, getting 3 drones, not doing his second Zealot shenanigans. You can make extra Zealots against a hatch first, but that's more if you're trying to target down the third. That should be sealed on the right, even though it doesn't look like it is. These are 1996 graphics, guys. I believe it's sealed. And we see the core up. So Tim is in a fantastic, but you can ask for a better opening from a gate first against an 11 hatch, which is sort of a soft counter than how this turned out.
Yeah, I'm curious if we're gonna try to layer behind this or plant the den right about nowish.
Yeah, I would kind of expect it then, because you're gonna get the gas later, right? Because you're in a situation where you're gonna need to drone up.
It's layer.
It's a layer. Oh wow. Okay, is it?
Oh no, speed. What the? You got Ling speed. So
I wonder if he's gonna go for a Ling all in.
No, I think this is this is economic. I believe he's going to drone and maybe 5 hatch into just mid game play. Now this OV is going to be sacrificed, but he's going to be able to see that Stargate open without skipping the Stargate, which maybe means these Lings got to pay attention. I believe this is economical. Yeah, he planted another 4th hatchery in the natural, so he knows that Tim is going the Corsair first tech, which means that he can time the Evo because he's not making the gas for a den. I believe he's going to plant another hatchery again and do some sort of spore into just late tech, high drone count, economic, let's get into mid game, let's duke this out kind of play.
Yeah, it looks like you're absolutely right. We see the 5th hatchery going down. Tim's positioning made him see the Stargate a little late, but he sees it now. Tim doing his, he makes his cannon, then he moves out with 4 zealots to try to get a scout in, which is a move I think DeWalt does a lot, and it's very effective. So never a bad move. But the speedlings might make this not. I don't know if Tim has a second cannon. Um, so he's starting a second cannon now. So he sees the link speed, so he knows he needs a second cannon because you can't really be active with your zealots if you don't have the second cannon against speedlings. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Right.
So he's getting this down. And it looks like this indicates that he wants to be aggressive with the zealots. I think we can expect like maybe an early timing, like an 8-minute timing here off the skate expand with Corsair +1 speed lot. And so let's see if he can get anything done. And I think this is pretty effective against this kind of a build where you're sort of making a lot of hatcheries. These lings are his only fighting units, right? But Tim can't lose all these zealots for nothing.
These zealots are crucial. He's gonna have to snipe these down to get the lead for making these lings to make this investment worth it. He gets 3 and loses 4. I think that was worth it. I was gonna say making the lings. I would have loved drones, but then the Corsairs would have saw it. He's making the den, so he's not doing the Evo. I like that actually. It makes more sense to get the second gas up and more drones. But I gotta say, making those lings and killing 3 zealots with 4 lings or 3 lings is optimal. So at the very least, he gains back sort of map control.
Yeah, I feel like this is a mistake I've seen Tim do a lot. In that you've moved out with your zealots, you force the lings, move them back. He sort of lingers with them outside of his natural. And we've seen, and I guess he gets a little, overzealous with his units early. Like we saw the same thing in the game against Striker, where he sort of lost his first High Templar, but he just moved out with his first Zealots without really any Dragoons. He just had them linger and float around, and we see the same thing here. Meanwhile, he has a window here, and now he has 2 Corsairs. I don't know if he's. Can we check if he's continuing to make Corsairs or if he's stopping at 2? So he's stopping at 2. He sees that there's no lair. Oh, there's a lair, but there's no spire. So there's a lot of opportunity to get some overlords while there aren't so many Hydras and there's no overlord speed yet. But it doesn't look like he's killed any overlords yet. He got one 3/4 of the way, but he backed it out. So yeah, he's got one. He's got one overlord kill. So, but look at this. So he's gonna. This is the 8-minute timing I was talking about earlier, but it's 4 zealots short because of the zealots he lost earlier. This could have been a really, really effective push if he was just a little more careful with those early zealots, because all those lings would have done nothing once these zealots have +1. Lings just melt. So he should have just been a little more safe, I think, earlier.
Yeah, packing a little less of a punch than he should. Getting that Corsair is actually pretty nice. I think with this Hydra count and that Sim City, he doesn't need any sunken actually, because those lings are really sticking that with the Zealot movement. But he did lose it on the mini map, so I think right now he's kind of playing poise mode while Tim kind of goes back, sees what he sees. In this timing as a Protoss, do you expect Muta?
Well, we've confirmed that there's no Muta, right? So the build that Striker is going, that Dragon is going, there's no chance of having Muta at this point. What is that?
I'm sorry, planting the Spire nowish, not Muta's popping now. I know the Corsair.
Oh no, I don't expect a Spire. If I see a Spire, I kind of expect an actual Muta switch. You're either gonna switch and make 10 Mutas, try to snipe High Templar, or you don't make Mutas really at all. So you don't expect it actually. If you see it, then you need to start making Corsairs right away. I think Tim was a little careless with those Corsairs just now when he was doing that 8-minute move out. You want them with your Zealots because the combination is effective because the Zealots will sort of engage the Hydras while the Corsairs can attack the Overlord. So I think if Tim tried to push the 3rd, with the Corsairs in conjunction with the Zealots, he could have got a lot more done. But we saw the Zealots faking a movement towards the 3rd while he lost the Sarah doing nothing. And now he moves back. He's making the right move here because he's not going to get any damage done. So he's going to try to take the 3rd. But again, moving these High Templar outside of the natural without any Dragoons is always super dangerous. If I keep doing this, if Dragon had some Hydras on the map, which he doesn't quite yet, I think those High Templar would have been toast by now. I think it's always safer to keep those High Templar in your natural until you have something to escort it, or at least until the cannons are ready at the 3rd.
Oh, never mind. For some reason, Dragon was he literally AFK'd like, what is that, 16 larva? It was very strange. He went from 1,200 minerals all the way down to 0. I guess he wanted to get some sort of visual on what Protoss was before making the composition, but that was kind of strange. I was going to question if the replay was weird. But yeah, this spot is kind of tricky because he's got all these hydras, but Tim's kind of been sitting back, which I like because it kind of he helps accumulate that Protoss kind of critical mass while getting your mineral only. It kind of feels nice when heroes are not popping out now, and you have this like not so anti-air friendly army coming out, but still very powerful against like a Hydra army.
So we see a massive move out from Tim here, with around 25 Zealots here and these 4 High Templars. He's skipping Dragoons entirely. He's getting his early third. So if Tim can get damage done with this, he's in a fantastic position because of this early third that he took. And he's getting a lot done here. These Hydras are split apart. The High Templar aren't even in the fray yet. So if he can get these High Templar, and Tim is making the same mistake he made against Striker, but he's getting these Storms off at least this time. But he's still got a lot done with his ground army here. If he can cancel this 4th, he'll be on even bases with Dragon at this point, but he's not going to be able to. He gets a little bit done with killing the Hydras, but again, losing those High Templar, really, really big mistake. Didn't really look like, and we still see Zealots in the natural, but there are Lurkers out, and Zealots versus Lurkers isn't a great combination here.
Yeah, I can agree with that. 4 base, 3 base, what would you say? Pretty even, or who has the edge?
I think the game is pretty even here, especially Tim didn't get much damage done with the Saras, but he got this early third up. He got the third up before the 11-minute mark, which is pretty much as early as you're going to get it in the matchup nowadays, unless you're doing something funky. So I think the game is pretty even. Striker's got his mineral only. I think, yeah, pretty even. But yeah, Tim trying to capitalize on his greed, trying to take an early 4th as well. But Dragon's just not going to have it. He's going to take that down. But Tim's composition looks pretty good to poison to the mid game here, especially against Hydra Lurker. This is the kind of unit composition you want. Yeah. I don't know where his Robo is, if his Robo is done, but we don't see an Observer out yet. I'm sure. Oh, there is an Observer. Oh, I'm just missing it completely. Yeah.
I think it would be ill-advised for Dragon to engage before +2. I'm not sure what the status on +2 is, but at this point, against that composition, he's going to need +2. Like, he cannot fight without +2 if he can help himself.
We see a Dragon going for the Hive and Tim taking this 4th base early. If Tim can get this up undisturbed in the mid-left, I think Tim has the edge here. Hive Zerg is very tough, but it's less tough when the Zerg doesn't have a 4th gas. If Dragon were to have taken, like, let's say one of these naturals and have access to the main, I would be much more scared for Tim than with his current base composition with 3 gas and a mineral only. Hive isn't just not as scary, especially if Protoss is now going to get his 4th base up, and it doesn't look like Dragon's going to punish it, at least not that I can see. I don't see any stray lings or anything in the area that can punish it at all. So I think Tim with this he's expanding behind this aggression, although he's pushing in here. I don't exactly know where all of Dragon's army is, because Tim just sort of walked in unhindered, and Dragon just doesn't. He can't really undo those lurkers and walk in. He's going to walk into a lot of storm. We see a lot of Hydra streaming in. If Tim can get some good storms out, and I think that's something we've seen Tim struggle with all series here, both against Striker and now against Dragons, getting his effective use of his High Templar race. Prove me wrong here. He's just melting all of these Hydras, but now he's in a position where he can't escape with the Dragoon. So I think he's definitely has an advantage here, but maybe he overcommitted a little bit there.
Yeah, doesn't look like he's gonna clean this up.
Oh, he killed all the drones.
Man, that's the drones. Oh my goodness. So
is that a Zealot with 11 kills on it? One of them has 11, I believe.
Yeah, and I noticed earlier Dragon was only harvesting 2 drones on the 2nd gas, which, I mean, 1 drone, I'm sorry, which, made me think that he was going to do some sort of pure Ling transition with what he had, but this game kind of felt weird to me so far, at least, of Dragon. Something seems off this game for Dragon. I don't know what to say. It doesn't feel like his larvas are as active as they normally are. Like, look at these groupings of eggs and AFK larvae. It seems weird. If he told us that his keyboard broke or something, I would believe it, because something seems off. But that's just me. Yeah,
definitely. I think he does have a lot of drones. I think Tim just killed about 10 drones in his natural. He's getting his 5th up. But yeah, if Tim has a massive advantage, and definitely interested in seeing what maybe some people have off days. Maybe Dragon's having an off day here. I can't really tell as much. I'm not a Zerg. What looks off other than
Dude,
I guess
Tim
maybe
is
the drone
firing
distribution.
all cylinders right now. Like, look at him go. Like,
Yeah,
macros,
Tim is just
gateways, just
confident.
army movement. Like, after the first game, you kind of thought Dragon, came to play, and then now Tim responds. This is exciting.
Yeah, Tim, look at the mini map here, right? So there's red dots on the bottom left. Tim knows there's a new base up. He finds it in the mid right, but he knew it could be the bottom left. He knew it could, so he's just scouring the map, and he's gonna try to take 12 o'clock again. He's got full map control here. He's got even bases with Zerg, which is an advantage for Protoss and PvZ, and he's getting his fifth up. He's canceled the Zerg fifth, and he's getting his fifth up. And there's nothing that Zerg has on the map or any sort of map control that's going to be able to really punish it, especially if Tim has sent a couple Zealots at 12 o'clock as well, which I'm sure he might likely did. Tim, this is Tim's game to lose. Tim has just been playing a pretty flawless game here. Yeah, like I'm really impressed. Only thing maybe is the high Templar control, which I think comes with I guess not practicing as much as you could, especially with hand issues. But Tim is just showing flawless macro, flawless decision making as well.
Yep. What happened to his hand? Do you know?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it's tendonitis or something else, but he's definitely been resting it a little more than he was in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you didn't know that, you wouldn't know that because he's playing phenomenal, and this move might be the killer.
When I've seen Tim play in person, man, he's got these long Viking hands. He gets the 0 and the 9 and the 1 all at the same time. And we see Tim pushing in here. There's only 4 lurkers here. If Tim pulls these Zealots back and just pushes up in front with these Dragoons, hurts these lurkers, I think he can actually even crack. He can crack Dragon. He can go to 6 exactly, and then once you go to 6 and you take a position in 6, the only way to fight that army is to go up a ramp, and that's not good news for the Zerg. So Tim's in a fantastic position. He's got it fifth up, and I don't know if I'm seeing blurs, but I think he might be setting up for bottom left as well. Tim is just on a rampage here. I know he's just confirming that there's nothing in the bottom left. He's constantly rotating maybe a Zealot or a DT down there. So, and we see a storm over the drones, killing 6-7 drones there. And he's just taking a huge supply lead here. I don't know if he has an observer here. I can't quite tell, but yeah, he does have an observer right there. It's a little blurry, but and we see just a massive Ling. Just Ling's to save his life.
He's taking a fifth behind this.
Yeah, no, he's gotten that 12 o'clock up a long time ago, man. Like he's had this up, for a minute at least.
Dragon.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Dragon's putting up 2 hatcheries. If he can get away with this, he can claw back into this game. But this is Tim's game to lose here. He's got some Zerg.
Defiler something, Swarm, Ling. He's gonna need to Doom drop. You gotta buy some time to get back in this game.
Absolutely. I mean, Defilers are a game changer. Once Defilers come out in ZVP, it's just like ZVT, not as extreme, but it definitely just, you have to change your complete unit composition in PvZ to fight it. You can't really, Dragoons are effectively useless once Defilers are out. So that's
2-1-3 upgrades. That's ridiculous. At this point, 2-3. Okay, yeah. I mean, Protoss army is so strong and so hard to deal with at this point when you're on even bases. It's like
you see Dragon taking the gas on the mid right, but I don't think he's mining gas at his 6 o'clock. And I think he's just been. Oh, now he just started. He just threw some drones on there. But he wasn't mining. I guess since the Tim's push, but he did notice, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I think Dragon trying to get into a position to take bottom left. Is that what that is? Yeah, he's gonna set these lurkers probably up near the ramp, and send a drone over. And yeah, Defiler on top of a ramp with lurkers is impossible to break unless you have about 30 Zealots. But Tim will try. It's harder to deny a base than to stop it once it's up, right? I mean, it's easier.
Yeah, but he's going for it, and he will get it. This is going to be enough, but at what cost? Pretty good cost, actually.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad cost as well, especially if Dragon had gotten this up, it would have taken 3 times this amount of units to actually even do anything. So really, really good job by Tim here, and we see Tim has a massive supply lead over Dragon. Dragon trying to take top right. Dragon trying to do as much as he can here.
He's just gonna keep trying to take bases. Like he's probably gonna send a drone like right now back to 7.
Yeah, that's not a bad strategy. Take a bunch of bases and see what you can get away with. And PvT,
force the action. In this spot, you want to be able to cast crucial plays to be able to, at least make him nervous of doing like the big Hambang attack.
Listen, man, in
but
PvT, sometimes I'll throw 2 nexus up on one on each corner of the base, hoping just one of them lives. And one, so they take down one, I cancel it,
the
other one's
classic
still up.
1A,
Fine.
2A, 3A.
Yeah, listen, man, I've never said I was a genius. Listen, we play with what we got, so the game's not changing. And so
Yeah, Dragon. I think Dragon's just trying to get this into the late game and just try to force something versus, not so much force something, but just get this into the late game and try to split map situation.
yeah,
Tough
I
spot.
think
No tough
I
spot.
think the longer this game goes, the longer I think Dragon's going to claw back in. He had a sort of a weaker early game, but now that he's got his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th base coming up, I think he's going to be able to take bottom left up because Tim hasn't. His army is in the mid right, and he's not really searching the bottom left anymore.
Yeah.
And he hasn't taken top right quite yet. Tim's angle to win this is a split map. I think he still has the advantage, but Dragon's making all the right moves here. And that's a sign of a blue chip player, which Dragon is. And so Tim's moving down to the bottom left. He sees this going up now, and I think he'll be able to take this down. But the cost that this is going to come at is going to be pretty expensive. All these zealots against 4 or 5 lurkers here.
Yep. Yeah, not on sale at present, Tim. Sorry, buddy. Picking off these observers. Wow.
Just picked off 3 observers, so that effectively makes that ramp impossible because with these lurkers, man. Oh, really good storm though.
Storm. Ooh. It's so back and forth. The plague at the end there. This is like a boxing heavyweight matchup. Looks like something's being conjured up in front of the base at the top right. If that is a defiler, which it is, let's see if he can do something.
I think if Dragon can... Oh, he's got plenty of units. If Dragon can take out top right somehow, I think he takes the lead here, especially with bottom left. I think it's going to go up.
We need drop. If you can kill the production and get the base bottom left, it's possible. But I think Doom drop is the game-changing moment possibility.
Game-changing one way or the other. If you don't get enough done with that, that could be the end of a game for a Zerg, for sure.
Yeah,
especially if you have like a high Templar or two.
Yep.
But yeah, like for example,
I'm sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Tim's style is such that you're right. His base is actually sitting at his natural, so he could quickly support that. Wow, what a 6 storm! That is meaty.
Another 6 storm, and he's got another storm in that. Oh man,
storm for days.
For days, but it might not be enough.
Yeah. Wow. If he gets this is actually pretty big. This is big. This is real big.
Yeah, if he can take out mid left, Dragon I think takes the advantage in this game. Because Tim is mined out of his main, mined out of his natural. He's got a mineral only. He's got 12 o'clock and he's got this. So this will effectively make him 2 base, 1 gas. Assuming the gases are depleted, even if they're not, they're close to in the main natural. So if Kim needs to hold on to this, he needs to get those units in. He needs to get on top of that ramp. He needs to get some high Templar there. Meanwhile, behind this, Dragon's got his Nidus up. He's going to take the natural of bottom left. And even if Tim saves this base, which I'm not sure he will, I think Dragon is back in the lead.
Yeah, I feel that way as well. And the thing that has Tim going a little bit here is now he might just defend this at the skin of his teeth, which
Let's
is
see
nice.
if he sees this lurker. This lurker. Oh, it just got 8 kills. That's not great. But Tim will have some probes hopefully somewhere.
These two, it's like a heavyweight fight. Lurkers coming in as well. So many units flooding in. It looks like Dragon's economy is kind of kicking in like full charge here. This is going to be enough units to stop this. If he's got more Miracle Storms in him, it's going to have to come now. Taking this base. Wow. You know what? Tim is taking all of the right side. This is getting into a split map position where Zerg's going to be in the advantage because he has the 3 o'clock base while taking the 9 o'clock base. This is looking very favorable for Dragon. I think Dragon heard me earlier talking about him being AFK or his broken keyboard. He must be upset because his form has now increased exponentially. I think the larvas are moving. Oh, Beavers in the face right now. Drones coming down. This is a heavyweight fight, man. This is so bad.
Absolutely. I mean, Tim lost his mid left, but he managed to take top right, and he's also taking the natural of top right. He's got an army sitting, and he took a lot of drones here. So I think this game is back to even. Yeah, slight advantage to Tim. But if Dragon can take mid left as well, I mean that's more than half the map, right? Tim's got to take one of the mid right positions if you want to split this map. So Tim's got to get something done, but he is here. I mean, it's my idle drones here, but Tim's gonna kill. Get a lot done with these Reavers. Tim doing some really good moves with the Terras.
He needs to regroup. This is too many. He needs to regroup. He came in at a bad angle there.
I think you're absolutely right. I think he needs to get that Reaver behind this army. There's no more drones to kill even there. I mean, there are some, but they're not even mining. He needs to get at this third on top of this high ground.
Yeah. The storms are great, but the plagues are better. So much Zerg.
I mean, Tim killing a ton of drones here, but Dragon probably has 50, 60 drones at this point, and he can just make more.
Right.
But Tim doing a great job. Dragon taking mid left here. So, but Tim, I think I see going into mid right with a little army. I'm seeing a little thing on the mini map here. Yep. And so so this is and Tim's gonna that's a good move. I don't think he's gonna get a lot done there, but he needs to figure out how to harass that base, whether it's with the Reaver, High Templar, Dark Templar. He needs to get something done at that mid right position. Dragon's mined out.
Tim is going to have to use all of the gas that he has. At this point in late game, you don't need to get zealots as many. Like, if you have the gas, you make the Archons. He's making DAs as well, but he needs to use that gas now because his window of opportunity is shortening. He needs to make something happen, and he's got 1300 gas. He needs to get more Archons. He needs to get more High Templars. He needs higher tech, and he needs to try to crack one of these bases because right now he's on a ticking time clock. Though he is saturated in 3 bases, but he is down in this split. Oh, the Reaver again! How are we missing this? Goodness.
Really good Reaver shot there. And yeah, he's gonna take it to the natural. A speed shuttle is just as fast as a. But he missed micros that. Yeah, he just lost that Reaver. He could have gotten at least one more shot done. But we see Tim. I think Tim is listening, man. He's got his army out. There's a ton of lurkers at the bottom left natural. So I don't know if this is the right army composition here. He's gonna need at least just 2 storms will kill those 5 lurkers. But he's got no High Templar. Oh, there's a High Templar straggling back there. He's got to have seen that. He's got to just get that storm off Tim. But if Tim can get this bottom left out, he's back solidly in the lead. But I don't see him casting any storms here. And this Reaver just sitting in the back, enjoying the view.
I officially have lost a little bit of space in my pants. That move from the lurkers up front was spectacular. It killed so many units. It was probably the best engagement with those lurkers up front, taking as much damage as they could. He's surrounding the Protoss right now. He's going to eat this up beautifully. I am loving this move from Dragon. He has certainly answered the call. Tim now furthering that time clock. I mean, shortening that time clock. He needs to spend his gas. He's trying to do what he can. Lurkers engaging.
Yeah, if you just look at the population, you can see that Dragon's taking a commanding lead on this game. Tim getting a lot done with these drones, but I don't know if that's enough. He's got the right position, but 12 o'clock should be mining shortly. He doesn't have any probes sent to that natural yet. I don't know where all Tim's probes are. Like, are there probes idling in his mineral only? Are there probes at the 12? Yeah, I don't know where his probes went. But there's no pro. He's got to get a better distribution there if he's gonna, and he's got to make more probes. He doesn't have enough probes. But yeah, I think Dragon's taking back a commanding lead in this game. He's got both of the mid-right positions, so there's no split map scenario until Tim takes one of those out. So this is now Dragon's game to lose. Tim's got to take a base out and then replace that base with his own Nexus, and that's Tim's way back into this game.
Yeah, man, I'm on my 3rd brew, and I feel like I'm feeling good, but at the same time, I'm not forgetting the fact that not too long ago, 10 minutes ago, to be more accurate, we were saying and praising Tim in this game, and just look what happened. And I can't believe Dragon was able to turn this around. Another very exciting match that is still not over, but looking grim for our champion in Tim.
I think we just got a hint of Dragon's next move there. He's got a Greater Spire. He's got Mutas outside of Tim's bottom right natural. Hovering, they're probably going to turn into Guardians, and he's going to then... Tim's going to be mining just out of those 2 bases very shortly. So once those Guardians pop out, we see some probe distribution there now, which those Guardians are going to be very excited to see. So I think this might be Dragon's way of ending this game. I don't think Tim has any Corsairs on the map. And at this point, to get Corsair is going to be time consuming, right? Because he's got 1 Stargate and resource consuming. So it's even by the time he gets enough Corsairs to kill these, they're going to have done their damage and to shut down this base at the very least. So really, really smart move by Dragon, just showing his experience in these late game positions, just showing why he is even though he was behind early in this game. The longer this game goes, the more solid his play has been. Not to say that Tim's been playing poorly, but Dragon has just been on another level and is showing his mid and late game strength.
For real, for real. I was gonna say that maybe Dragon is not as good in the mid game and late game, but he certainly proved me wrong again. I mean, his Protoss is the one that I praise the most. Dragon, I mean Tim coming in here with everything he's got to do this, right? This is the only.
He's got no counter against these Oh,
he's got the Reaver backup. Okay.
He loses the shuttle. Yeah, he's got to get some storm off, and he's got we got a feedback on the Defiler. I love seeing feedback. That's so satisfying to watch. But there's another Defiler back there. Gets a Dark Storm up. We see a Storm on these Guardians, but they're spread out really well by Dragon here. We see a Dark Storm, which renders most of Tim's army useless, except for the Zealots and the splash damage of the Archons. So just Dragon playing defensive. I think only way Tim gets back in this game is he takes out bottom left. There's no other way, and I don't think he's going to be able to, even though he has 3 Reavers, 4 Archons, and a few Zealots. It's just not enough.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I agree with you, but Protoss has proved me wrong as well. But yeah, concurrently, Dragon just going in for the throat. I mean, if he takes this, even if he loses bottom left, it doesn't even matter, because this is going to take away effectively all income. Meanwhile, Tim doing damage bottom left, but no supporting backup. Looking grimmer by the moment. But
cannons are just decorative once Darkstorm comes out, and we see him actually ending up defending bottom left, and we see him taking out Tim's base, and I think Dragon has sealed this game, and we see the GG from Tim. And Tim is eliminated from this tournament despite showing some really good play, but that's what happens when you're at the round of 16 on this level of play, man. Tim showing a really good play, but Dragon's saying you're not gonna eliminate me.
Yeah, these games are so high level. Like, there is no like, other than the one comment I made that game, that comeback, basically it felt like he was trolling me. Like like who would have thought that in that spot, in that moment, that he was able to come back with that? I don't know. To me, that was a big comeback because it didn't look good for him at varying points of that game. So a true champion in Dragon.
Yeah, I thought Tim was played absolutely fantastic in the early game. But yeah, Dragon just showing really his decision making. Really, he made the decision to push Tim's mid left, and he let the top right go up because he knew that if it was a split map, getting the 2 left and right positions were the game winner. And then the Guardians are a fantastic choice. Really good army control, just decision making all overall. And we are now setting up for our final series. Is going to be the final decider match.
Is it the grudge match?
Is it the grudge match? The winner's match was Striker and Keen, where Keen lost. So now it's going to be Keen and Dragon in a ZV. Oh, it is the grudge match. You're absolutely right. So I keep struggling to alternate between Zerg and Protoss for Dragon. I was almost thinking, oh man, Keen's probably got some ZVZ builds prepared. I completely forgot, just like you did in the previous series, that Dragon is a dirty race picker. So we're going to see a grudge match, ZVP.
So is this a best of 3 or a best of 1? I'm sorry.
This is a best of 3. The first map will be Polypoid for the final decider series.
Exciting. Yeah, so I guess I'll give Keen 18%. I'll give him the edge only because he's riding the kind of momentum, I guess. No, I give Dragon the momentum, actually, based off the last game and the previous. So yeah, I mean, Keen, it's going to be real tough again, but let's see if he's got more magic in him.
Listen, man, I've underestimated Keen. I think a lot of people have. And he beat Dragon the first game. He nearly beat Striker. He lost 2-1. I'm sure Dragon will find it extremely satisfying if he were to eliminate Keen.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sure Keen. I know Keen's got a couple of things prepared. And just like I've also been PvZing him a bit because I love to PvZ. I love getting PvZ practice, and Keen has needed it. So I know that he's been preparing a couple of builds. I'm excited to see how he executes them against Dragon. He succeeded with the Ling All-In in the first game on Shukuras, and now we are here on Polypoid. A bit of a bigger map, harder to, but a little bit of an opener ramp as well, depending on which position you spawn. So excited to see what shenanigans, if any, Keen's got prepared.
Question for you, Shakir. Being that Keen won the game, the best of one against Dragon the first time using the build that I thought he did against me and would potentially work. When you practice with him, there's more up his sleeve.
There's absolutely more up his sleeve. He didn't practice just one. He knew he's gonna have to play at least a few ZVPs, whether it was whether it was Tim, whether it was Dragon. He is gonna play some ZVPs. So,
all right, I'm gonna have to get another beer then because I want to be prepared for this one.
Yeah, no, go for it, man. And yeah, definitely. I know Keen's been preparing some builds especially for ZVPs as well as the ZVZs. But excited to see how he executes what he's been getting ready. Looks like Jiraiya is grabbing a brew. You guys should grab one as well. I'm drinking some Maker's Mark, a little dash of Coke, and a big ass ice cube. So that's the way to do it.
Yeah, cheers to everyone that does or has a drink, or cheers anyways.
If you're not old enough, drink some water, hydrate, good for your skin. And yeah, let's get ready to get into the final series of the night. Best of 3. Keen, Dragon, Polypoid.
I'm ready.
I'm ready, man. I'm super excited to see what Keen pulls out. I know what some of his options are. Let's see how he goes with it, and let's see how Dragon defends. And I'll be honest, Keen did the Ling All-In a few times, as well as the other things he's been trying. And the Ling All-Ins were the ones that worked least most. So I'm excited to see if he can get away. How effective the other stuff was a little more scary in my experience. So we see Dragon as this dark blue Protoss on the top right of Polypoid.
We got Keen, our other champion, Zerg, top left, electing to scout southern or south.
Yeah, he's scouting the standard route on Polypoid. You go towards the natural, and so in this position you think, what is that? That's counterclockwise. So yeah, that's what you do on Polypoid. But I know some players like Hawk, and there's some other players that I've seen that will just reverse scout it, or I've seen it on ladder, just to prevent the Overlord getting scouted. And so we see Dragon sending his probe out. Let's see if he's doing a gate expand, a forge expand. I've seen Dragon do both. He used to love the forge expand, but as of recently in his recent games, we've seen the gate expand. And we see the probe going back, which is sort of indicative of a 10 gate. So that's what I expect to see from Dragon here. The other option here is maybe an 11 Nexus, 11 Forge, or 12 Nexus, 12 Forge, which is a little less common, but certainly a build is capable of doing. But I would think he's going to opt for the gateway first.
Yeah, and we got the Overlord from Keen. I think he might have heard me when I said he was sporting the 480 APM, and now he's hiking it up to 520, now going back to 500 and going down further. But either way, Keen is playing a more standard route, I believe, with the Overpool open. From our standard practice games, or the practice games where it was more standard, it would be an Overpool opening, which is the majority of the game. So maybe less shenanigans, but we'll see.
Well, if Keen's going for any link shenanigans, this is a good positioning for him, because not only is he as close as you're going to be on Polypoid, but Dragon's on the top right, where he's going to need a 3-unit block to block lings. So so Keen is now going to take his 203 hatchery, which is the
I'm just
Overpool
a
hatchery.
12 hatch guy. I just love the 12 hatch. To me, I like to have the extra drones, and 11 hatch.
I kind of love when I kind of love playing Zerg that does 12 hatch. Yeah, because I go 9 gate, and I like having that. I guess it's sort of in your control. There's a lot more excitement. Your zealots in there, you can get a lot done. We don't see this first zealot rallied, but that's fine, because we saw that in the first game on Chakuris as well. He didn't send the first zealot. He saw Overpool, and a lot of players will do this, including Tim. I think I've had a discussion with Tim about, there's different sort of thoughts, I guess, schools of thought on the gate expand. Some people use it to force as many lings as possible. Other people use it to punish a 12 hatch, but otherwise it's just a means to get into your natural. And Dragon seems to be the second option. I think Tim is also on the second option trail. So yeah, some players will not send out zealots versus an Overpool period. They'll only send it versus hatch first.
Pretty smooth third hatch timing. Not too much of a delay that Dragon is very capable of doing. But he's going to get the full scout in. These lings are coming, 2 zealots. Let's see what Dragon does. So you're saying he stuffs the ramp and waits for a third? Is that?
Yeah, you see that zealot closer? Yeah, so if there's a run by, that zealot would have went to the ramp, and probably with the pro block. Some players, including myself, who play like complete asinine players sometimes, will just put a probe hold position on the ramp during this. So if I had to run my zealot back, there's a block waiting for me.
Oh, geez. I'm gonna
especially
confess that happened to me a couple of times. So don't worry about it if it's happened to you.
Yeah, no, link run bys are like 45% of why I lose my games. The other 55% are pure incompetence. But yeah, so now he's got the forge up, he's got the gas up, and so he's in a good position. He just got to make sure that there's no run by. Speed shouldn't finish if Keen has started speed. I think he just did. He just start speed. Yeah. So he's not in any danger yet. There's a lot of sort of fake aggression by Keen here, but he knows he's not going to get much done. But he is sort of preventing, he's sort of forcing Dragon to multitask. You see this probe transfer is a little late. You see him forcing this cannon. He's got to be alert. So really good moves. It takes nothing for Keen to just sort of move these links back and forth. Meanwhile, stressing Dragon out completely.
It's kind of like the same mentality, right, as the first
game.
game?
We see another round of Lings. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but this is going to be a Ling all-in. It's going to be a speed Ling all-in from from Keen.
I don't like it because I don't believe Dragon's going to move out. I just don't believe it. He's so confident in his ability. He's not going to do what he did the first game. I think he's going to be able to defend this.
The 4 or 5 Zealot move out is super standard though, and I guess that's what Keen was waiting for, and that's what he did in the first game. So we saw Tim do a bunch of times. We see a lot of other good players, like let's say DeWalt and Bonnet, both opt to do these move outs. But yeah, you're right. He might opt to go safe, but Dragon needs to figure out a way to get scouted in because he doesn't know that this is Lings yet. This could be a 3-hatch Hydra for all he knows. So he needs to figure out what it is. And I think
he's got to sell it.
Yeah, exactly. He can't show the other Lings, and he's got to just. Yeah, he's got to get these Zealots out of position, man. But
now, is there a second cannon?
There's no second cannon. If I was Dragon, I would have put down a second cannon. Better safe than sorry. What's 150 minerals? But he's not moving out all the way. And you see Dragon doing something smart there, right? He faked a move out there, but he didn't go more than 10 feet past his gateway because he wanted to see if there's going to be a run by so he can run back. He wasn't actually intending on moving out there. Now we see the rest of these links. These Zealots are not in position. Zealots are there, but there's a huge gap on the top. And that's exactly. Oh, Keen can't. Don't remind him of if Keen's got to get if Keen's gonna get away with this. You gotta not remind him of that gap.
Jadong Lings. You gotta bring the Jadong Lings. You gotta engage.
And here's the thing all in. Oh my God, there's a huge gap on the top that's not blocked.
Nice concave.
Oh, there is Zealots there. This is a little bit blurry.
I'm missing the forge here. Do you get the forge? What do you do?
I think you take the gateway because it's got more surface area.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I actually didn't see the Zealots. I'm on a little bit of a choppy dispersing, but he does take down the Zealot. Yeah, the Zealot. The other added benefit is no more Zealots for Dragon, but really, really fantastic probe wall and 2 cannons. Dragon holds completely. Adding a 3rd and 4th cannon. GG from Keen.
Yeah.
Wow. Game 1 goes to Dragon. Really good move.
I had a feeling that Dragon was just not going to. He's just not going to do it. And to your point, 10 feet or whatever it is in Brood War distance, like that is really shows the colors and stripes of Dragon being a veteran as he is. He's not going to make that mistake. The same mistake twice. He's just that good. That was impressive.
Yeah, I think he wanted to see if Keen would make a mistake and show extra Lings if they were there. He did take a risk that this wasn't like a Hydra all-in because he didn't start that second cannon until late. If this was a 3-hatch Hydra bust with speedlings, but the thing is, when you go for a Hydra bust, you don't really have the gas to make speedlings. So maybe he felt comfortable that it wasn't going to be a Hydra bust, which is why he didn't feel the need to force himself into Keen's natural. But if you didn't see speed, then yeah,
we should probably take a second. I don't know if we get like a script or something, but any announcements for like Rogue's Gallery in between?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think there should be a bot in the channel. There's a Patreon if you want to support really more like well-produced NA events with the highest talent. The Rogue's Gallery is going to continue throwing events. Definitely support these players, support the prize pool, and let's just get really good production on this. There's also a Matcherino. I believe we maxed out the Matcherino even, but you can definitely go to the Matcherino. You can donate directly. Definitely support these players. Definitely support these events. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. I'm having a lot of fun casting. I'm having a lot of fun watching these games. I hope you are too. And I think we should definitely continue to support the NA scene, man. We gotta beat these goddamn Euros, Jiraiya.
yeah. I talked to some of the Euro fellas, and this BSL 11 season, I am excited for an NA player to make a splash, if not a couple of NA players to make a splash. One of them not participating in this tournament, but I do have him in a top, round of 4 position. But we talked about him earlier today in Crossy, and to me, he's one of the top players that can compete. But when you talk about other NA players like Hawk, Dragon, Boa, it's like, it feels like it's time for an NA, and you can tell I'm passionate about this. It feels like it's the time, and there's some players that you might forget about that might make a noise too. So a lot of excitement when it comes to NA, and I'm just so happy to be able to cast for Rogues Gallery that is an NA only event. And looking forward to all these players really just being able to compete and bring those Euro bastards down.
Yeah, man. I think Rogues Gallery are building a really good culture within the NA scene, and we have a lot of players that probably weren't talking to each other before. Probably weren't practicing as much together before. So it's definitely really good for, I guess, our scene. And yeah, man, Poland and Russia can't have all the good players, man. We gotta, and we have a ton of talents in NA, and we're seeing that here, man. And
yeah, man.
I think Rogues Gallery is doing a fantastic job. And we see that Keen has picked Ringing Bloom as his next map. You know what that means, right?
Yeah.
We're going to see some offensive sunken colonies, what I'm expecting from Keen here. There's no reason a Zerg picks Ringing Bloom, which is the most Protoss favored map in any map pool, if you're not going to do offensive sunkens, which is pretty effective against gate expands.
What's the pool timing on that? Is that 9 pool, 5 pool? What are we talking about here? Offensive?
Oh, definitely not a 5 pool. It's going to be more like over. You can do it off an over pool. And we see but it doesn't need to be a 5 pool. You don't want to do a 5 pool. You want to have drones. We have Dragon, the purple Protoss in the bottom right of Ringing Bloom.
And we have Keen.
Good luck with that color.
Yeah, it's like a green color top left. Zerg, he's going to be scouting towards the top right direction.
It's like green. That would be like the wallpaper of an old house, Yeah, the pool timings are pretty normal. You don't want to do a 5 pool or anything, because you're only gonna have 3 drones. You normally just play, and I'm not 100% sure exactly what the build is, but when I've played against it, I've seen it come off an overpool. I've seen it come off, Ash first. I've seen it come off when I played against Yui a couple of times. Ash Eason, I've seen it come off a 9 pool speed. So I just have never seen. I don't think it makes sense off of 5 pool, because you only have 4 drones. You're gonna need 1 or 2 drones to actually rush.
Yeah.
And so,
I'm not familiar with the offensive sunken. I think that's like a pimpest play kind of caliber player.
Yeah, it's these cocoons that are by the wall that the Protoss makes, and when you go gate first, right, you don't have the cannons up as early. Cannons really help against this, but when you have just zealots, it's really tough, because you need to both block the choke, and then you also have to go get out of the choke to go kill these creeps. The other thing is that it's actually really tough to select it. You have to select it, drag select from a certain angle to be able to select the actual creep. Otherwise, every time you click the neutral building instead. So until the creep becomes a sunken, and we see 2 gates coming from Dragon. So instead
is this standard?
No, not at all. So instead of, normally this looks like a gate expand, but there's a second gate behind it. So I'm kind of excited to see what Dragon has here. Maybe he forgot about the cocoons and he put his gateway. He's making the walls like, oh crap, this is what's happening. Put down a second gateway. Who knows? But I've never seen this before. I don't see how if you send a drone scout, you won't see it.
Is there a drone out? There needs to be a drone out, because I don't believe this OV path is going to see the 3 Zealot timing and time when it hits that kind of middle spot. That one's gonna hit it, right, Machine? That one's gonna hit it. But I'm talking about the first one. So if without the scouting drone, this timing from Dragon might catch him off guard, because on this map you can't protect your ramp as easily as you want it to happen. And he takes the third hatch. This is going to be tough. I think this is going to be a rough one for Keen, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I think Keen made a big mistake not sending a drone scout there, and it looks like he's not doing that offensive creep at all. I think I harped too much about it. I expected it because of how Keen's been playing today. He's been playing very cheesy, to be blunt. And so when you're a Zerg that picks Ring Bloom, what else are you gonna think, right? But it looks like he's playing pretty standard, but he didn't send a drone scout. He's actually playing like sort of an eco cheese.
I will say, Shafir, on Ringing Bloom, so say in this spot, right, he does drone scout and sees this, he cancels that third, but still makes that third hatchery just inside his base. And now you're on 3 hatch, 2 base against 1 base. Granted, he can take the second base for free, but it's not a horrible, in my opinion, it's not horrible to take this path. If that's how he planned it out in his mind, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Ringing Bloom is it's tough for Hydras to really get any damage done. With the because you're on, your naturals on top of a high ground.
Protoss 2 base, but like I go 9-10 on this map as Protoss. I love 9-10 on this.
Right, but 9-10 as in 9 gate 10 gate, right?
Yeah, 9-10.
I guess, yeah, but that's not super standard, right? I guess what I do is I just go for a gate expand into early Nexus, but I don't have to worry about Hydras, right? I can even go forward expand if I really wanted to because Hydras are not a worry. Make a couple of cannons. So you can't really get that. 973 doesn't work on this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So Keen's been playing greedy. There's 5 Zealots here, and Keen's probably wondering how does this guy get 5 Zealots here. So many Lings. Just really, really good decision by Dragon, I think, going with this build here.
Oh my God, he's gonna clean it. I didn't think that he was gonna clean that, but that was a really nice concave, and he gets the third too on the 9.
Yeah, Dragon didn't micro that at all. Like I figured he would have stutter stepped. He could go behind the mineral line and reduce the surface area. He just sort of started paying attention to other stuff, and his Zealots just died for not much. So yeah, but Keen completely misses for his Zealots. But there's more Lings. There's more Lings by the ramp, so he's gonna still see them. And so he can still run back.
In my opinion, he's got to pull him back, but it's like so late at this point because those Lings wouldn't have done much. 2 Zealots would have been done by then, but he made more. He should be able to clean this up, but it's so all in. He's sitting on so many minerals. I guess if he cleans this completely and goes to like super econ mode, maybe.
Yeah, this is what I was hoping Dragon would do before, because now these Zealots are impossible to kill, right? You have to kill them one by one. But he just lost them for nothing. But now they're just gonna sit there unless Keen goes Hydras early, and he's got another position back there. But that should be surface area for tooling. But I mean, yeah, Dragon doing a little bit better with these Zealots in the first group. What was that?
4 bases coming from Keen as a reaction to this. I mean,
I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move because when you go 2 gates early, right? He's got his natural up late. He's got his gas, like his tech is up super late. So you can go for it. You're not really worried about GTs, right?
What tech?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like he's in a position where he can this is a great, really good decision, I think, by Keen. Not really a standard decision, and I'm glad he made it. And now he actually cleans up these Zealots without he lost about 5 or 6 Lings, but I thought it would have been a lot more tough to kill that. We see the +1, we see 2 gates. Is he going for a speed lot push following this? That's a really early +1. I don't think, yeah, he's got no Stargate up. Oh, he's got a Stargate up now, so he got the +1, maybe because he got the gas up in time before his core was finished. So sometimes you get your timing messed up, especially when doing this rear side. He's not mining his second gas yet, which he needs to get on top of ASAP. He does 70 gas, so he need as much gas as possible PVZ. But Keen, I think, is adapted really well, is in a really good position if he can get to the mid game with and he's got another hatchery coming up as well, and Hydrogen going up into his natural.
Yeah, the main thing I'm wondering is that Overlord was sitting in front of Dragon's ramp that entire time before that cannon was up. If he had gone all in Ling as a follow-up, do you think he could have done offensive sunken if he timed it such that would that have been a timing? I just wonder, because he's econing obviously behind this, but I wonder if he missed an opportunity because it's such a late cannon.
Maybe, but you have to remember offensive sunken's that's a commitment, right? You're sending 1 or 2 drones across the map and you're making creeps. So I think Keen's in a position where he doesn't need to do that. He's showing a lot of confidence actually, and I think he's actually a little ahead here. He's got his 4 bases up, and this Corsair is probably just started at this point.
I personally do not like this spot from Keen. I think this spot is too far thin. He's going to die in the first attack. I've been in this spot where Zealots came to me. To me, this spot is just like you're hoping that he either disconnects or his mouse breaks and he doesn't attack. I don't know how he's going to defend the first attack.
Well, you have to remember, we saw his Stargate go down a couple minutes ago, right? Where's his Citadel at? His speed should probably be like a third or a halfway done. So Keen knows that his tech is late. You can't really attack. It doesn't matter. I guess you can attack without speed, but it's not gonna go super well, especially once Zerg is getting set up here. I think he's probably teching a Hydra speed and Hydra range right now. He has this time where he is a little safe, and I think he got his fourth up early enough where by the time Dragon attacks, he's gonna be in position. We see the +1 isn't quite done yet. We're at 830 right now, and speed is not done yet. Meanwhile, I think Keen is. I disagree. I think Keen is in a great position as long as he now shifts over towards unit production. He doesn't get too greedy because he viewed the timing.
I love Keen, but he's going to need to pull another miracle. I'm telling you, this timing, if you look at that food discrepancy, I understand he's probably just kicking in macro, but this timing right here is very, very hard to stop, and he's going to have to micro
That
this.
is a lot of
He's
ballots.
going to need luck. He's going to need luck, but let's see what happens.
No, you might be actually right. I didn't realize how many zealots there are. He's he had a group of hydras here. He's throwing up some sunkens, I believe. And he's got to do it at his mid left as well, because that's not the only position that the Protoss can attack. If the Protoss went to the mid left, it's completely exposed. So you're right. You might actually be completely right. This is way more zealots than I expected. But Keen frantically making hydras here. He's not in the worst position. It looks like he's got a good amount of hydras, and he got his 2 sunkens up, and Dragon's completely ignoring mid left. So, but he's got to pull drones here.
Yep.
This is a rough position. You're absolutely right. I completely missed it. I did not expect that many zealots.
I mean, honestly, he didn't. He probably did the best he could in that defense. It wasn't the bad micro. Honestly, the best he could. It's just so much. You know, that timing. I'm familiar with it. It's good. It's real good. And I've
Keen,
done it.
Keen GG's. So,
GG.
so Dragon coming out of this group, but Keen showing some really, really, really good games here. And yeah, I completely misread that. I didn't realize how many else there were for sure. Really good play by Keen, but Dragon just showing why he is Dragon. He doesn't get eliminated, man. You don't eliminate Dragon.
Solid, just solid play.
Yeah, and so now we have Striker and Dragon coming out of this group. I guess that's what you would have predicted at the beginning. But if I told you that Dragon would have to come out of the final map, being the losers game, you know, like I don't know if you would have believed me, right? So
it's
really good group.
It's the dramatic route, right? It's the most dramatic way to get to where we probably thought it was going to be. But are tremendous in their preparation. You can tell that you know, there's some mental warfare going on a little bit in between series, and it just makes for exciting matches, man. It's been really good, real high quality play.
Yeah, man. I think we're gonna have Striker come on shortly for a winner's interview. So I'm excited to speak to him and see what he thought about the games, especially about that game on Eclipse. I don't know if he is specifically having PTSD from that game against Crossy. But yeah, really good series. We see Dragon and Striker coming out and moving into the next round. It's gonna be in the round of 8. This tournament has been so fun to both cast and watch so far. So yeah, man, I'm really happy about this for sure.
We've
only got more games coming.
I just want to make one little shout out, or not shout out, but for subscribing to channels, Twitch channels, you can use your debit card, which I learned recently. Before it was all PayPal, but that's possible as well, which I know some people probably didn't know, like I did recently. So I just wanted to say that, and you just want to make sure that when you do it, if you want to make it reoccurring, you could just click that off or on. It's just up to you. But it does it automatically as reoccurring. So you just want to make sure to disable that if that's what you want to do. But I just want to make that point because it's a new discovery for me.
Yeah, man. Support Rogues Gallery in any way you can. If you don't have money, you know, cut your box tops off your cereals and mail them in. You know, whatever you gotta do.
Sure I'm sure a lot of these players and fans have won some money on the stock market. So
yeah, man, send some of your GameStop money over. I'm just kidding. You all lost money. I think we have Striker in with us here on this Discord.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, how's it going, Striker?
Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm good. Feels pretty good. Finishing first in the group.
Nice.
And things went according to plan mostly. Didn't respond too well to Oling all in against Keen's game two, but otherwise I think things went pretty well.
In game one on Eclipse, when you found his 12 o'clock, were you sort of expecting that? Were you remembering your game against Crossy from the qualifiers? Like you didn't check that position last time, so is that something you learned, or?
Yeah, so like when I saw his links pop out, it was like a 12 hatch ling timing. And it was either, in base 12 hatch and then I immediately thought of my lost across
Mm.
in the claws. So I was like, yeah, what if he just built a second hatch at 12? And so yeah, thanks Cross for that loss.
Hey man, it's better to lose a game in the qualifier and not get eliminated in the round of 16, right?
Yeah, so
Were
that
you,
worked out.
were you
Yeah,
expecting to play
Striker.
as? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I just had a question for Striker.
Go for it.
Yeah, Striker, dude, man, like great performance tonight. Every game, so exciting, so just crisp in your play. I can't commend you enough. Real strong performance. I just wanted to. I heard through the grapevine. Well, question number one. What level of preparation do you do for these types of events, and if any? I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't, but at the same time, it just looks like you're just so prepared every match. The ninja scout on 12 o'clock with the spidey sense. Like, how much preparation do you do? And as a follow up, I heard through the grapevine, Striker, that in part of your preparation, you potentially are working with some very high level players, even above you, in coaching. I'm not sure if those whisperings are true, but if you can elaborate on that, I think me and everyone else would love to hear it.
Yeah, thanks for the compliments. So I mean, depending on the match, if the player has a certain style, I might specifically try to play against that. Going into the match, I had a feeling that Tim would do gate first, so I sort of prepared a lot against gate first build,
Right.
and so that was good. Yeah, so I've been being coached by like this, I guess like pretty high level Zerg player in Korea, and
Yeah.
he's not really like well
If you
known, I
could
would
tell
say.
us who,
Like
if you tell
I
us
didn't know
who,
about him until like Cross told me about him, but
okay.
yeah.
Do we know him? Is he famous? Is he a BJ?
He does stream. His name is Stashik, TDASIK, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
sure
yeah.
if he's really known. I didn't hear about him before.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so yeah, he's been giving me a lot of pointers, especially like ZVP, and I used to have a very like passive like macro style ZVP where I would just sort of sit
I could notice. Yeah.
with a macro style and like sit behind like 12 lurkers and like expo,
Right.
expo, expo.
Right. Right.
But I wanted to so his style is like a lot more aggressive, and
Right.
I wanted to sort of emulate that a little bit. So like this game, I did what I like almost never do, which is just unburrow all my lurkers and then just like try to destroy the Protoss army mid game before it
Right.
gets
Right.
to late game.
Yeah. No.
And
I can definitely speak for everyone that the killer instinct in moments where it was so critical. I can name two, but the first one, the High Templar snipes against him in, I believe, game one. That
right,
timing was super. Because I know you were multiing against the DT on the map as well. It was just so much multitask that it just allowed you to be able to follow up with the level of swarm that you're talking about, which you followed up with the lurkers. The killer intent in that game was heartfelt.
yeah, I think I expected a Zella push out. I actually didn't think he would come with Templar, but I just have a generic response against that, which is run around Hydras and then try to pick off Templar. And he must have been a little bit overzealous because his zealots just sort of like ran way ahead of his Templar. So
Right.
I was able to just pick them off, and then from there I knew I had like an advantage. So I just macroed, and then I don't know, like 140 supply, 50 supply. I was like, all right, let's pick up and go. And then it just went.
Right. And go you did.
Yeah, so
That's super.
I 100% thought I would face Keen, so I prepared ZVZ as well.
Right.
Actually, I'm just kidding. I didn't actually play that much ZVZ.
You know, Striker, the other thing that I failed to mention earlier is from the little bit, because I don't know you very well, but from the little bit that I do hear from you, you are funny as a mother effer. And that was just another moment of me underestimating your funniness and sarcasm, because I really thought that maybe you were considering training for Keen.
I mean, I was training against, impossible Keen, like all week. That was like my biggest worry. Like, what do I do against the Keen god? And, yeah, I mean, but I was really surprised with the first game. Like, I didn't think that he would succeed in that Ling Holland. I was like, oh my God, like, this isn't going to work.
I'm still
I think he actually busted.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and then, yeah, he had a good build on the second game against me, and I didn't respond properly to it. And third game, like, that was also not a good response by me. I should have like pulled my drones all out earlier. But as soon as like I blocked his drone from building a sunken in the behind the minerals, I felt like I had won by that point.
Right.
Because I knew it was a 5-4.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was a fantastic couple of games, man. How much did you practice for this, or what percent do you think was practice versus what percent was you doing Rantati reps?
Dude, man, Rantati is hard, man. I
think Rantati is harder than Melee, man.
Dude, it takes so much multitasking. It's insane. Like, I think my game improved because I played so much Rantati. It's nuts.
Dude, I played Rantati last night with Tim and Keen, because this is how Keen practices for everything. And I got like 5 Reavers in a row, and I just didn't have the multi. I kept selling them, and bro, I can macro in StarCraft at a okay level. I can't make units in Rantati.
4x speed. It's insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, I practiced a lot against gate first builds. Like, I probably like 90% of my effort was in optimizing against gate first builds.
Yeah.
And I mean, ZVZ, I just like ran into a bunch. I played ladder mostly for practice, and you just run into a lot of ZVZs anyway. So
Right.
it's not like I could have avoided it. But yeah, ladder was mostly P and Z, and then most Protosses nowadays do gate first. So ladder was just very good practice, I think.
Right. Hey man, it's been really sick watching you play. You went undefeated even in the qualifiers up until Crossy was sort of like a brick wall sometimes, and you're just playing really well. Man, I'm really excited to see you in the round of 8 and seeing what else you have, man. Really good job. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations, Striker. I just wanted to say one more thing. BSL, how are you feeling about that?
The ladder, I mean, we don't know the groups. We don't know like who's made it so far. So I'm just gonna ladder and practice that until that happens. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. We just make it a little bit of a point here that we're rooting for all the NA players, and being a fan of one of them. I mean, being one of the fans as myself. Really pulling for you in BSL wherever you land. I mean, high hopes.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, my tournament results haven't been super good so far. I get like nervous, or I forgot to like build stuff.
Well,
but
you didn't show any of that tonight. You showed poise. You showed, veteranship, and if it was spectacular. Really, it was a great performance.
Did you have any of Model's wine or?
Oh, I had some beer, but after the game.
Okay. Maybe if you played him before the game, you wouldn't have dropped any games, but whatever.
Yeah, probably.
All right, I think that wraps it up. Sounds good, man. Thanks for coming on, Striker. Really excited to see you in the round of 8. Good luck in the future. And remember to have the beer before the games.
All right.
See you in Rantati sometime.
Yep.
Congratulations, my man.
Yep.
Sounds good. And that about wraps it up for Group C. You can tune in next week. Today's the 19th. So next Friday, same time, we'll have Group D of this event, and we'll finalize the round of 8, which seems to be exciting so far. So tonight we had Striker and Dragon come out. Last week we had Models and Michael, and week 1 we had Hockey and Crossy. Hockey, I keep doing this. It's because people say Crossy and he has no Y in his name, so now it's Hockey. It's just, man, this is one syllable name. So Hawk, Crossy, Models, Michael, Dragon, Striker. Just a really amazing top 6 so far. And
look at that lineup. Who do we have in Group D?
I'm trying to remember. I believe we have Taitu, we have Whip, we have Boa, and we have Red Duck. So we have a really, really good group in Group D as well.
That is
so
a group of mercenaries. You can't name that anything else. Holy smokes! Yeah.
Oh, we actually have Dragon here as well. Welcome to the chat, Dragon.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you perfectly, man. How's it going? Can you hear us? Drag?
Hey, Dragon, what's up, man? Congratulations.
Think we might be having audio issues. We heard him in the beginning. Oh, I see his name lighting up, but no audio quite yet. It's that Canadian microphone technology, man. Not as good as their healthcare. So he probably has the same mic you have, Jiraiya.
Is my mic quality bad?
No, it was fine. I just meant the issues we had in the beginning.
Oh, okay. While we wait for Dragon, I just want to say I was picking up my girlfriend from work. It was supposed to take 20 minutes. I left at 6:23. I got home at 8:06. I ran. It's snowing here in New Jersey. I hope everyone's safe if you are in this area or whatever. But it was not Dragon.
Okay, I think I can hear you.
Hey, so now we can hear you as well.
Sweet.
Congratulations on round of 8, man. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. I was kind of just planning on getting first place.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about the first game when you lost to that sort of Ling all-in from Keen on Shakura's?
I actually expected him to do pretty much, well, either a Ling all-in or a Hydra Bust. And I thought like 2 cannons would be enough. But there were like so many Lings.
Yeah, right.
It's like, I guess I needed a 3rd cannon because like I had spent my zealots earlier and he did that run by.
Right.
But I don't know, I just underestimated the sheer power of mass lines.
Right.
Were you so in the later games, right? You played against Tim. I don't know if I misjudged the game, but I felt like you were pretty behind at one point in the game and you came back. It was I'm talking about the game on Polypoid. What are your thoughts on that game against that macro game with Tim?
Yeah, I think I was pretty behind, like, cause he snuck his zealot in and killed like a couple drones, and he also killed one drone with his probe. I mean, so that was really annoying. I just wasn't focusing well enough at that point, losing workers for free. But I knew as long as I didn't die to anything, I always had a pretty good chance. Because I think my late game is pretty good. Yeah, I just have a lot more experience than Tim playing in those situations. So I was able to pull it out, I guess. I mean, I was so confident, but at the same time, I knew I was in a bad spot.
Yeah,
Right.
it definitely seemed like the longer the game went, the better position. Like every sort of move that happened, whether it was him attacking, you attacking, you were sort of creeping back in up until we're sort of tilted. So we can definitely see that experience and sort of that late game finesse and really and Polypoid sort of like lends itself to that play. So I think that was a really good map to play in as well for you. I think, right? Like Polypoid is just a big map where you can sort of split it. You end up taking both of the left positions, left and right, both of the middle positions. So yeah, I mean, really good play.
Dragon, that game, don't listen to the audio later. I will say during that game, I did count you fairly out. Him at the 18-minute mark, he was rolling, dude. Like he was rolling, and it looked pretty dire. He got some drones at your 6 that looked like it was like the nail in the coffin, and it looked grim for you. But as the game progressed, it was like you just had all these little wins that just kind of compounded and rolled, kept rolling into a big snowball effect. And then you got to that point where it was like, once 3:00 was secure and you were getting your 9:00 as well. And, I'm not a rocket science, but you got the bases you need to win the game. Like it was exciting. That game was great.
Yeah, thanks, man. I did see that in every attack he did. I didn't defend it perfectly or anything. He was killing drones with his zealots, and his first attack killed a bunch of drones on my Nat. I had to replace those, and then his second big attack killed a bunch of drones on my third or my fourth, I forget which. He was just constantly killing drones with every attack, so I wasn't able to like fully defend and then push back. I was kind of just barely staying in there for a while.
What are your thoughts on that build you did on Ringing Bloom? So one, were you expecting any like sort of forward sunken, aggressive sunken shenanigans on Ringing Bloom? Like why would a Zerg pick Ringing Bloom, right? And second, you did a sort of a 2 gateway build. What was that about? Like was that sort of was that always going to be a 2 gate, or did you sort of change your mind last minute? I guess talk us through that.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised Keen picked Ringing Bloom, but then I thought about the double sunken rush, and I was like, that must be what he's doing 100%. I was like so surprised that he actually went 12 hatch. He actually, well, he should have had a large advantage, but I think he forgot a drone scope or decided that it wasn't worth it or something. So he didn't see my 2 gate, and I was able to do a little bit of damage. But I mean, he like out mind gained me there. I was planning to just get a quick win against Sunken all in.
Right.
That's why I did the 2 gate.
Right. Yeah, dude, I love the 2 gate build on that map. Shafir disagreed with me, but that timing that you had, I know of that timing, and it was one of those situations where like he needed to probably get like 3 sunkens at least, and hope that you don't go for his 9 o'clock base. But the way that that played out, like the 2 gate situation, it was. It was finally some luck like going your way with the OV path not hitting the 3 zilot timing, and him also not scouting, kind of getting carried away there and forcing him to, get the 4 bases. That was something.
I actually think I should have gone straight into his main with my first zealots.
Straight to his main, yeah.
Yeah, instead of wasting time with that third hatchery, because he can just cancel it and then build up lanes while he's still
right. I thought Keen engaged the best he could, with what he had.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job. I think he was doing all right in the game. Just he may have over droned at the end a little bit. Like I saw at the end he had a saturated 4th base.
Yeah, that 4th base was definitely saturated.
Yeah, it just gave me a much larger timing window with my zealots there.
Yeah, it definitely felt like he was in a good position, except that he probably made a round or 2 of drones that he didn't need. Because I guess your +1 and your speed zealots finished at like 830 or 840 or something, which is kind of late. And he had he had already saturated his 4th by then. I think he just needed more units. I felt like he was in a good position, but your push definitely, he had way more zealots than I expected. So definitely a really good game. I think you came back from behind there as well. And I might be wrong, but that's what it looked like to me. But yeah, man, really good games.
I disagree.
I'm sure. It's because Keen got away with the 12 hash, and he got away with an early 4th. It was a really early 4th. He got his 3rd and 4th almost at the same time. And so it was like, yeah, it was nuts. But point is, yeah, man, really good games coming from behind. I'm excited to see you in the round of 8. I think you're probably one of the top 3 players in NA. So really excited to see you, man.
Dragon, you're my apple. If this Brood War was on the black not black market, what am I saying? The stock market, you are my blue chip. So congrats, man. I'm excited to see you in the round of 8. And I was telling these guys playing with you in the turf wars, just constant consistency and just consistent just winning. So congrats again, and hell of a performance.
All right, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, man. Have a good weekend. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Man. Have a good one.
You too.
And yeah, man. How was that, Jiraiya? How's that going?
Dude, I'm so sorry again. That beginning was so bad. I apologize. It's my first time casting. I'm casting in front of my
no worries,
right, man. I had plans for my headphones. My girlfriend, she lost them on the way here. Like, believe it or not, like it was like the perfect storm. I'm usually on time for things. I apologize, but dude, this experience has been great. A lot of fun, dude. I learned a lot at the same time. It's been a good experience and a pleasure casting.
Yeah, man, I had a lot of fun as well, man. I've gone through a couple glasses of whiskey, got some really good games in. And yeah, man, that wraps it up.
Machine, our observer, just on the money with everything. You know, I didn't even do a mic test. That's how unprepared I was. And just to be able to just get in here, everything seems to be working. I hope it worked or whatever. But just everyone, you know, Keen, Strom, Balance, Castle Music, like everyone up here, just you know, special thanks, Patreons as well. I don't know why I'm doing this. Shafir.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for watching. Next week, same time, 8 p.m. We have Group D, finalize our round of 8. Definitely support us on Matrino, support us on Patreon. Come watch us on Twitch. Have fun, have a drink, chill. I actually genuinely have a lot of fun when I'm doing this. Normally I would never commit 3 hours to doing something if I didn't have a lot of fun. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Machine. Thank you, Strom. And can't wait to see you guys next week and the week after, and you know, continue to see the rest of this tournament unfold.
Yeah, no, special thanks to everyone. Great event, super good graphics, everything, just production-wise, everything's great. Just, you know, again, just, you know, a lot of good stuff going on here. So excited for the next matches. I'm a fan. Looking forward to the matches. Pleasure, Shafir. Hope everyone has a good night.
Have a good night. Have a good weekend, guys.